On the night of the massacre, I leaped from the cliff. I claimed the legendary Xuan King Cultivation Manual. I truly believed I was the protagonist of a heroic epic. 10 years later, at my parents' grave, I would claim my enemy's head. A decade passed. The graves remained cold. I sat there in rags, forever filial. Father, mother. I failed. I studied the Xuan King Manual for 10 years. What did I find? I found I am talentless trash. Qi circulation? Heavenly orbits? To me, it was incomprehensible gibberish. I could not understand it. I dared not ask for help. My enemies slaughtered the village. If they found a survivor, they would eliminate me. Thus, I dared not seek a master's guidance. Disguised as a beggar, I survived by pure luck. No grand vengeance. My only achievement was identifying my enemy. They are a sect called the Zi Gate. Why they decimated my family remains a complete mystery. Overwhelmed by helplessness, I bowed my head 3 times. Father, mother, I am worthless. Let us sever ties. Find someone else for revenge. If your spirits remain, haunt the Xingyi sect leader. Make him take his own life. I bowed 3 more times. I turned away. 10 years of youth, utterly wasted. The duty of the original owner was beyond me. It was time to leave. Time to live my own life. 20 years later, at the Quanju de Tavern, my hair turned gray. My back grew stooped. I changed my name. I married. I had children and a granddaughter. Using memories from my past life, I built a successful business, a small, modest success. Today is my 50th birthday celebration. The Hague estate is festive. Lanterns hang high. Grandfather, what did you do in your youth? My granddaughter asked, her eyes crinkling with joy. I once roamed the world. I knew a bit of martial arts. I gestured dismissively. The third-rate kind. What does third-rate mean? Third-rate means... I paused. I cannot even defeat your grandmother. My wife scolded me playfully from within. I laughed. I laughed endlessly. My smile froze. Standing outside the courtyard, a circle of men in purple robes appeared. The Ziyi sect leader was a middle-aged man. He held a portrait, comparing it to me in silence. I remained perfectly still. He smirked. Searching for 30 years. You hid yourself well. My wife and son shielded the child. They trembled. What do you want? What do they want? He unsheathed his blade. Ziyi sect cleans house. Remove the roots. I stood up, staring them down. I voiced my long-buried, burning suspicion. Why did you slaughter my family? He pondered for a moment. I am just a mercenary. My superiors ordered death, so I delivered it. I nodded, looked at my kin, and lunged with a kitchen knife. No miracle occurred. I fell hard. Blood poured from my chest. Before the end, I saw the butchered remains of my wife, son, and grandchildren. I was no hero. Just a nameless, pathetic foot soldier. The path of justice is cruel. Revenge is impossible. I am consumed by hatred. Everything turned to black. My pulse ceased. Ding. First lifetime concluded. I opened my eyes in a void. A giant, ancient book floated before me, glowing faintly. The tome flipped open. Inscribed were the words, 100 mortal lives. First life ended. Commencing performance evaluation. Upon arrival, you embraced a blood feud to settle the original host's debts. You attempted vengeance, but your talent was lackluster, wasting 10 full years. Fortunately, you awakened in time. You hid your identity and raised a family. You founded the Quanju de Tavern, becoming the most renowned establishment in Qinchao City. Praised by many, you eventually fell to enemies, but your life was not entirely in vain. Evaluation score: 88. Points earned may be used to upgrade your next life. Talent: 11. Comprehension: 10. Bloodline: 5. Second life distribution: 0 points to talent, comprehension, or bloodline. Minimum starting requirement is 1,000. I stared at the screen. Realization dawned. This is my golden finger. Death is merely a gateway to improvement. Retaining every memory of my past reincarnation, I inhale deeply, exhale slowly, and scream at the heavens. Ha ha! Great vengeance can finally be realized. My mood is magnificent. Laughter fades. A sudden realization dawns upon me. Wait. If reincarnation exists, is this merely a martial world? With rebirth possible, do immortals walk these lands? Exist legends of eternal life and gods? I clear my thoughts. Whether martial or mystical, vengeance takes priority. 30 years of past humiliation. That final, lethal blade. My small, defenseless family. This hatred burns deep. It must be avenged. No hesitation. I pour 50 points into comprehension, seeking the Xuan King Manual. The remaining 38 points go entirely into aptitude. Points allocated. Let us restart. Second life begins. My eyes snap open. Lying on a stiff bed, covered by a ragged quilt, memories flood my mind. I am Lin Mo, 15 years old, living in Lin village. My parents survived. I have an 8-year-old sister, Lin Xiaokao. We are desperately poor. 3 dilapidated huts, 2 barren fields, 1 skeletal, starving ox. Notably, Lin village rests in Chengnan Kingdom, bordering the Chen family village. I sit up, observing dirt walls and floor, watching light through torn windows. Dried peppers and corn hang from the rafters. A familiar rural courtyard. I step down, hearing a violent coughing fit outside. Father. I push the door open. In the courtyard, a stooped man huddles in the sun. Are you awake? Lin Danyu glances at me, then lowers his head. Porridge remains in the I entered the kitchen and lifted the lid. Only thin porridge, truly water. Floating grains and unrecognizable wild leaves. I took a sip. Tasteless. I squatted outside. I stared at the scorching sun. Is the drought severe? Lin Danyu nodded slowly. Truly severe. 3 months without rain. All crops withered away. Harvesting 10% would be a divine blessing. What says the village? What can they say? They simply endure. Those with reserves endure. Those without must struggle. The gate creaked open. A thin figure rushed inside. 8-year-old sister Lin Xiaokao, skinny as a twig, smiling. Brother. Good news. Great news. Xiaokao sprinted to me, gasping for air. Purple-robed recruiters came. They offer food for disciples. My bowl froze mid-air. Which sect? The Ziyi sect. Yes, the Ziyi sect. Xiaokao's eyes gleamed with hope. Brother, you know them? I know them well. They hunted me for 50 years. Reincarnated now. The Ziyi sect seeks workers for food. I looked at Lin Danyu. Father. I will go. Lin Danyu was stunned. Go where? To the Ziyi sect. As a disciple. He fell silent, watching my porridge and the dying tree. After a long pause, he finally spoke. Do you know what that place truly is? Lin Danyu's voice deepened. I heard rumors. Great sects, recruiting outsiders. They call them chore disciples. But in truth, they are mere slaves. Brewing tea, fetching water, scrubbing, and cooking. Serving those official disciples like a dog. Nothing more than selling one's soul. I nodded. Father knew. Yet I persisted. Our home cannot feed 4 hungry mouths. Joining Ziyi sect ensures my survival. There is food. Plus, a settling fee. It helps the family survive this crisis. Lin Danyu remained silent. Zhao Kao whispered, Brother, do not go. I patted her head. No words. I stared at him. He stared back. Silence stretched. Finally, father looked away. Tomorrow, the Ziyi sect arrives. They gather at the village shrine. If you desire to go, then try. Yes. If you fail, return home. We will manage. I have strength. I will not let you starve. Looking at his honest face, I felt moved. But deep vengeance burns. Domestic peace is forbidden. I must enter the Ziyi sect. The next day, at the Lin village shrine, a massive crowd surrounded the entrance. 3 tables stood. Youths in purple sat, cloud patterns embroidered. Swords at their waists. They radiated intense, vibrant energy. I stood within the crowd, watching them. The youngest was 16. He handled registration. The next was 20. Checking innate talent. The center one remained. My eyes locked onto the central youth. Beneath 20. Sharp brows. Calm aura. Unlike the others, he sipped tea. Occasionally he scanned the masses. His gaze radiated arrogance. An inner disciple. Experience confirms it. His status in the sect is significant. I crept forward. I strained to listen. Wang Ergu, 17. Talentless. Meridians completely blocked. The next person stepped up. And the next. Failed candidates left. None reached the standard. The line shifted. My turn arrived. Lin Mo. 15. Relax your body. The outer disciple gasped. He sat upright. How interesting. He attempts the trial again. Not bad. With your talent, you surpass mere servants. You deserve to be an outer disciple. The inner disciple places his cup down. A smile finally graces his face. 2 meridians and 3 vessels. Your name? Lin Mo. Lin Mo. The inner disciple repeats the name. Will you join the Ziyi sect? Become our official outer disciple? My heart races. An outer disciple, not a servant. My talent score actually matters. This lowly one accepts. The inner disciple nods and turns. Record this. Lin Mo, 15 years old. 2 meridians and 3 vessels. Admit him as an outer disciple. He looks at me again. Return home to bid your family farewell. Depart with us at daybreak tomorrow. Outer disciples receive a settlement fee. Collect it and provide for your parents. I nod repeatedly. Many thanks, my lord. Many thanks. News spreads rapidly. A true outer disciple has emerged from Lin village. 2 meridians and 3 vessels. A future sect protector. The villagers look at me with newfound reverence. Lin Danyu stands in the crowd, trembling. His neighbor shoves him forward. Danyu, your son has finally succeeded. Outer disciples live in pure luxury. Lin Xiaokao tugs my sleeve. She looks up with hopeful eyes. Brother, will you finally be well fed? I lift her up and smile warmly. Yes. I shall be well fed. Can you bring delicious food home? Lin Xiaokao beams with joy. My heart sinks at her innocent smile. I have a mission. I must seek vengeance. I must infiltrate the Ziyi sect. Uncover why they slaughtered our entire village. But this child knows nothing. She only knows I am leaving. To a better place. To eat well. To bring back treats. I set her down and stroke her hair. At dawn, I pack my belongings. As I step outside, is this truly reality? It is. The village chief himself spoke. 8 meridians fully opened? That is pure legend. My footsteps halted. 8 meridians fully opened. I followed the crowd toward the shrine. The closer we drew, the denser the throng. An inner disciple stood before the table. He gripped a scroll, his expression visibly agitated. 2 outer disciples stood beside him, stunned. They circled a young girl. She appeared barely 15. Dressed in coarse cloth. 2 braids fell across her shoulders. She stood timidly with her head bowed. I recognized her instantly. The village chief's daughter, Lin Wani. Measure her again. Lin Wani timidly performed another test. Truly 8 meridians fully opened. The outer disciple's voice shifted in tone. Senior brother, this is a genius, unmatched in centuries. The inner disciple drew a sharp breath. His joy could not be contained. Miss Lin, will you join our Ziyi sect? Lin Wani looked up at the village chief. The chief nodded vigorously. She whispered her consent. Excellent. Heaven favors our Ziyi sect. The inner disciple repeated the word twice. Good. From today, you are our sect's inner disciple. Return with me now. Meet the sect master. The villagers gasped in shock. Direct audience with the sect master? What kind of status is this? I stood in the crowd, watching that shy girl. My heart churned with complex emotions. 8 meridians opened. I spent 38 talent points for merely 2 meridians. Her innate talent is peerless. This is the chasm between us. The inner disciple quickly regained his composure. He ordered his subordinates to pack immediately. End the recruitment. Gather those selected yesterday. We depart for the sect at once. Before departing, everyone received their relocation stipend. My stipend was 10 silvers. Servants only received 3. 10 silvers can sustain a village household for 2 years. I pressed the coins into Lin Danyu's hand. His fingers trembled. So much? Son, you take this. I forced the silver into his palm. Build a new house for the family. Sew new clothes for little sister. Buy a strong ox come next spring. Lin Danyu's eyes turned red. His lips quivered. He could not speak. Lam Tio Thao stood nearby. Her eyes were red. Little sister. I knelt to meet her gaze. I must leave now. Obey our parents. Protect them. Will you return to visit me, brother? Seeing her tear-filled, reddened eyes, I sighed deeply within my heart. Perhaps. My past life's tragedy haunts me. This life's family is a fleeting dream. Our reunion remains a complete unknown. I produced an object. A peach pit. What is this? She inspected the peach pit closely. Plant it. Water it. Watch it grow. She nodded. And then what? Wait for fruit. I hesitated. I will return. Her eyes brightened instantly. Truly? Truly. When will it bear fruit? 2 or 3 years. I offered a soft smile. It will be fast. She nodded firmly, clutching the pit tightly. I will water it daily. I will watch. I patted her head gently. Rising, Lam Danyue wept in silence. The price of his daughter's departure. I glanced at them. I walked away. Crossing the threshold, her voice echoed behind. Brother, I will wait. Until the flowers bloom, she sobbed, clinging to me, begging for return. I gave her the seed. A promise kept. I alone knew the truth. I would fail. In my past life, Ziyi sect slaughtered us. A blood feud. We are mortal enemies. I sold my life to seek vengeance. Relying on memories of my past life, I became an outer disciple of Ziyi sect. After 4 years of bitter isolation, I placed second in the outer sect tournament. My combat style is ruthless. They call me the Mad Wolf. But something unexpected happened. I refused to advance my cultivation. I retreated, abandoning my disciple status. I volunteered for menial sect tasks. I shouldered the sect's heavy burdens. My twin meridian talent is merely average. In the inner sect, I am bottom tier. Steady progress offers no path to power. Better to hide within the shadows. Under the guidance of Lin Wan Quer, my talented compatriot, I donned the black robes of the discipline hall. I became a guard under the Grand Elder. 4 years passed. I sat, reviewing files within the discipline hall. Using the elder's name and Lin Wander's influence, I secretly gathered soldiers, I formed the Shadow Guard. I handled Lin Wanker's darkest tasks, deeds kept hidden. Execution was flawless, not a trace left. I used the hall's wealth for my cultivation. I am now a peak second-rate warrior. One step from reaching the first rank. A window breeze stirred. A black-clad figure knelt. Master. We have news of Wu Tiande. I looked up instantly. Wu Tiande. Inner Sect Protector. I loathed his face across 2 lifetimes. He was wounded on a mission. Most of his subordinates perished. He returns from Qingfeng Gorge with only a few survivors. I dropped the file. A cold smile curled my lips. Qingfeng Gorge. Surrounded, the perfect ambush awaits. Order the entire Dark Wolf unit to mobilize. Establish a kill zone at Qingfeng Gorge. 9 long years. From the first life's massacre to this life's long shadows, it is time to collect the interest. Night cloaked the gorge. Ngo Thian-duk rode hard, blood staining his bandages, his face ghastly pale. How much further to the Sect Protector? Past this ravine. Half an hour more. The party entered the ravine. Eerie silence reigned. Not even a cricket chirp. Ngo Thian-duk suddenly pulled his reins. An ambush. Words barely left his lips. Torches flared along the cliffs. Swoosh! Swoosh! Rain of arrows. Poisonous, shimmering, deadly. Agonized screams echoed. Disciples fell like pincushions. Ngo Thian-duk parried desperately. Grievous wounds hampered him. Movement sluggish. Shoulders pierced instantly. Thighs struck thrice. A wretched shriek. He tumbled down. Arrows ceased. The gorge fell deathly silent. He slumped against stone, gasping. Venom coursed through his veins, paralyzing his limbs. From the shadows, masked in black, I approached him slowly. Beneath his terrified gaze, I removed my shroud. Ngo Thian-duk's pupils dilated in terror. Mad Wolf Lin Mo? You're insane. Sect slaughter means death. I stared, cold as the grave. Leave no survivors. Leave no proof. A chill gripped him. He scrambled backward. We have no feud. Why kill me? I drew my blade. Whispering low, remember the Chen village massacre? In my past life, I was Chen Mo. His eyes bulged with disbelief. One clean strike. Absolute silence returned. Master. We found this. A jade box opened to reveal a glowing red fruit. Scarlet flame fruit. A treasure for forced breakthroughs. 3 months later, I began seclusion, using the fruit as a catalyst. Cultivating the Xuan King manual. Fervently, doors creaked open. I stepped into the sunlight, exhaling a breath of power. A first-rate martial artist. Breakthrough successful. Emerging from seclusion, I sought an audience with Lin Wanakani. 24 years old, she sat regally in the high seat. Her internal energy gathered, refusing to disperse. It appeared solid, like physical matter. Senior sister. You have reached the small Homatian realm? My heart shuddered. A monster unseen by the sect for centuries. A 24-year-old Haoshan expert. Compared to her, the 36-year-old disciple Fang Ji is a pathetic joke. Wankari smiled thinly. Small Haoshan, nothing more. How fares the Dark Guard? We would die for you. At any moment, I lowered my head, masking my lethal intent. The opportunity approaches. 3 months before the sect leader's 90th birthday, the Grand Elder summoned me. Lin Mo. Who should succeed as the next sect leader? I knew the Grand Elder was testing my loyalty. Feng Ji is the sect leader's chosen heir. Lin Wanhini is the Grand Elder's prized pupil. This is a game of power. I stepped forward. The throne requires true virtue. If he chooses Feng Ji, the sect will never submit. Announce senior sister at the banquet. Everyone shall rejoice. I paused. My eyes turned icy cold. Strike first. Secure the throne. The Grand Elder squinted, silent for an age. Finally, he waved me away. The flames of ambition still needed fueling. That night, I gathered 20 elite assassins. They knelt before the inner courtyard. We clear the path for the senior sister. Please, decide now. Seeing the assassins bathed in killing intent, the Grand Elder's ambition ignited. He finally decided. He helped Wani to her feet. If his disciple can ascend, why not mine? On the birthday, the sect glowed with lanterns. Heroes gathered from every faction. Inside the great hall, the wine flowed freely. The sect leader stood, his face flushed with vitality. I shall retreat to breakthrough into the Xiantian realm. Today, I name my successor. Wait. The Grand Elder stood, stepping into the hall. The sect leader position carries immense weight. Instead of appointment, let the youth compete. Heroes of this world shall bear witness. Winner takes the throne. The hall erupted in immediate chaos. The leader paled. Half his elders agreed. The Great Elder held total control. Trapped. The Grand Hall transformed into an arena. Hao Fengji, 36, faced Lin Wanier, 24. Postnatal masters clashed. Violent energy surged. Waves of power roared. Hasso fought cruelly, yet Desperation grew with every strike. Lin moved fluidly, calm and composed. The 100th strike. She struck his chest. Hao vomited blood. He collapsed violently. Lin won. A genius among mortals. Guests gasped. The leader's face darkened. Hao struggled up. He pointed and screamed. Wrong. I was poisoned. My energy is blocked. Treachery is afoot. Liar. A sore loser. The Great Elder's faction countered sharply. Traitors. The leader drew his blade. Pure fury. Blades unsheathed. Accusations flew rapidly. The air turned icy cold. Fellow disciples hesitated to strike first. The farce seemed destined to fail. Suddenly, a hidden assassin lunged forward. Stop the pointless chatter. Great Elder's men attacked. A flash. A disciple fell dead. Blood. This single blade ignites the powder keg. Kill for riches. The great hall descends into chaotic madness. Blade light flashes. Screams pierce the sky. The sect leader and elder factions clash. They slaughter each other without mercy. Spectators watch from the corners, savoring chaos. Two peak late-stage masters collide with thunderous force. Shockwaves shatter the grand hall's tiled roof. Factions clash outside, bloodlust in their eyes. Steel rings out through the dark night. I stand at the gate, listening to slaughter. Lord, the battle has begun above. An An Lang guard bows and reports. My trap worked perfectly. Their doom arrives. I gaze into the night. Open the gates. The subordinate stands there, utterly stunned. Open the gates? Only we are here. I glare. He obeys and pushes them open. Doors creak open. I ignite the signal flare. Boom. A crimson light stains the heavens. Thundering hooves echo from the distant darkness. Dark-clad warriors flood into the Ziyi gate. The 7-kill sect attacks with fervor. Their leader reins his steed. He stares. Are you the spy who sent word? I nod once. You have done well. He grins cruelly, raising his long blade. The Ziyi sect ends here tonight. Kill! The demonic tide surges upward. The battle on the peak flips instantly. Internal strife ruined them. They collapse now. The demons are here. The gate opened. I ascend the stairs, watching them fall. Hao Fuang Kiet lay broken. Life faded away. Mud and blood stained his face. Shen Liu Yun, the former top genius, lay dead. An arrow pierced his chest. He died staring at the sky. I marched forward, blade in hand, trampling through the carnage. I stared at the night sky. 10 long years. The blood debt of Chen village is finally paid in full. Suddenly, a thunderous roar erupted from the back mountain. Ears rang. Blood boiled. A terrifying aura surged into the heavens. Zhantian realm. The 7-kill sect leader paled in terror. Disaster. The Ziyi sect hides a Xiantian monster. A gray shadow descended. He walked upon the air, landing gracefully on the roof. A gaunt, white-haired elder stood there. Thunder rumbled within his flowing true essence. The Supreme Elder returned from 30 years of seclusion. A successful Xiantian breakthrough. He scanned the corpses. His voice echoed clearly in every soul. 30 years of isolation. I emerged to find you inviting wolves inside. He raised a withered hand. He struck down from the heavens. Boom! Powerful Xiantian energy crushed them instantly. 10 7-kill sect experts, charging forward in vain, blasted away. Dead on impact. Retreat! Flee now! The leader screamed. He fled the sect in total panic. The Supreme Elder ignored them. He stared coldly at the wounded Great Elder. You invited traitors. You brought the demon sect here. Execution for all. The Great Elder vomited blood. He collapsed in despair. I stood silently. My eyes scanned the chaotic battlefield. Lin Wankir fought nearby, covered in blood. Her energy surged like a tidal wave. Great Haoshin! Someone shouted in shock. 25 years old. A breakthrough in the heat of battle. She became a purple blur. She broke the encirclement. She vanished down the mountain. My lord. What do we do now? The Shadow Wolf guard trembled. He looked at me in terror. I remained silent. I turned abruptly. Like a ghost, I vanished into the dark bamboo forest. My lord. Where are you going? My lord, you promised us unimaginable wealth. Desperate cries echoed behind. Then, lethal steel clashed. I did not hesitate. I never looked back. I fled blindly all night. At dawn, I collapsed into a deep ravine. I reached back, gripping the poisoned arrow. I ripped it out. Black blood stained everything. I applied herbs, bound the wound, stumbled forward, sword in hand. 10 years passed. I reached the familiar village gate. Peach trees bloomed brilliantly. A girl in simple robes sat sewing nearby. I stopped. She looked up. Eyes met. Needles dropped. Tears welled. Little sister. I stared at her. A smirk formed. The peach blossoms bloomed. Lin Xiaokao wept openly, lunging into my arms. Brother is back. Pain flared. I winced. I held her close, patting her back. Yes. I have returned. My father, Lin Danyu, sat hunched and gray. He gripped my hand. His lips trembled. Finally, one word escaped. Good. Lin Xiaokao brought a bowl of steaming noodles. Eat quickly. I repaired the roof, walls, and yard. She watched me work. She saw fresh blood staining my clothes. She said nothing. She quietly washed the blood away. On the third night, I watched the moon. Lin Xiaokao sat beside me with water. Brother? Is something wrong? I met her gaze. I shook my head. Nothing is wrong. Petals landed on my shoulder. I let them remain. On the fourth dawn, she called for me. I remained motionless beneath the tree. The bowl shattered. Tears soaked the fallen peach blossoms. Behind Ziyi's sect, the Supreme Elder opened his eyes. Has he been found, Master? Lin Mo hid his family. The disciple knelt down to report. Forget it. The Supreme Elder's eyes grew deathly cold. My lethal poison. Death in 3 days. And what of Lin Wanyi? Still investigating. No news yet. Keep searching. When I finally opened my eyes again, I saw that same endless white void. The ancient book hovered before me, glowing. Its pages pulsed with light. I returned. I sighed. This outcome was expectedly inevitable. I am no fated protagonist like Lin Wanyi. Ordinary mortals face only death here. The book turned. A screen flickered alive. Second life settled. Age 25. Poisoned. First-class martial artist. Breakthrough via red flame fruit. Your life was consumed by vengeful obsession. Joined Ziyi sect at 15. Endured 10 years. Formed Antling Guard. Executed your family's killer. Poisoned the sect banquet. Caused internal chaos. Led 7 kill sect to attack. Dealt a crushing blow to Ziyi sect. Calculated everything. Still failed one step. Failed. Died of poison under a peach tree. Rank. Black Iron 3. 288 points. A decade of espionage. Cruel and calculating. Unfortunately, fortune was not yours. The book turned to the next page. Next life ready. Will you use points? I did not hesitate. Third life begins. I opened my eyes. The air did not smell of blood, only the thick scent of suffocating perfume. I turned. A youth sat on the bed. His features were effeminate. 3 parts man, 7 parts woman. Memories flooded my mind. A tragic fate. Orphaned young. Adopted by the White Lotus. Treated like a pawn, possessing the innate 5 meridians and 7 vessels. Such talent would crush Shen Liu Yun in my past life. Yet at 17, why am I merely a third-rate fighter? My memory reveals the answer. My dear brother is responsible. Chu Chengfeng practices the Joyous Union Manual. He steals essence to cultivate. For 10 years he dragged me to brothels daily. He claimed it was to broaden my horizons. My previous self was a fool. Too arrogant to practice. My cultivation plummeted. The sect leader was absolutely livid. Brother Lin, where are we heading today? Chu Chengfeng offered a lecherous, knowing smirk. A new brothel opened. The beauties there are exquisite. Interested? I rose, staring at him with glacial indifference. Brother Chu, what is your cultivation technique? Chu Chengfeng laughed out loud. The Joyous Union Manual. You know this well. You must frequent brothels. You thrive on feminine essences. Naturally. Without union, how can I progress? And I cultivate the White Lotus Manual. It demands purity. Staying a virgin maximizes its power. Frequent indulgence destroys my foundation completely. So tell me, how do brothels increase my strength? Chu Chengfeng faltered, offering a dry, nervous laugh. Well, that is obviously impossible. If impossible, why lure me to ruin every day? Chu Chengfeng rubbed his hands. We are brothers, are we not? We share everything. Your talent is vast. Who cares about time? I laughed. My eyes remained cold. He shuddered in sudden terror. Brother Lin? Are you feeling all right? I stepped off the bed. I am fine. I see clearly now. I gazed out the window. My heart was like still water. The debt from Ziyi sect remains unpaid. I spent 10 years as a sleeper agent. I personally executed my enemy, Go Tiandu. I threw Ziyi sect into total chaos, yet my efforts were merely fruitless vanity. The sect remains supreme. Vengeance is only half complete. I am not rushing. A gentleman waits 10 years for revenge. I have ample time to toy with them. Chu Thuafang leaned in. Watching my gaze, he chuckled. Brother Lin, tempted? The clan beauty entertains guests tonight. Haven't you always desired her? Why not go? Didn't you speak of her every single day? I slammed my hand onto Chu Thuafang's shoulder. Chu. Our demonic sects are rivals. We are not allies sharing trousers. 10 years of drinking. You gained cultivation. I ruined my foundation. I was a fool. I thought we were brothers. I am awake now. We walk separate paths. I released him. I turned and walked out the door. Brother Lin, you misunderstand. I truly meant nothing else, Chu Thuafang shouted. I did not look back. I left only a cold laugh. The White Lotus branch sits on a wild mountain. White walls, green tiles, towering trees. Ignoring the vicious guards armed with blades, it resembles a tranquil temple. I entered the scripture library. The old guardian sneered, his voice dripping with mockery. Has young Master Lin finally changed his ways? Is the brothel closed today? Came here to search through the archives? I refused to waste words. The elder waved me off. Go. Do not dirty the books. I scoured the records for hours. Dusk fell. I closed the final scroll, brow furrowed. The file documented everything with chilling clarity. 15 years ago. Yi sect civil war. The demonic Bloodblade Hall invaded. 20,000 elites attacked. That battle slaughtered half their masters. They stood on the brink of total annihilation. Yet at the critical moment, their elder exited 30 years of seclusion. He reached the Xiantian realm. The Bloodblade Hall master lost an arm instantly. Fewer than 10,000 retreated. The Bloodblade Hall. The Yi sect should have suffered catastrophic losses, but the imperial court intervened at that moment. Silver, elixirs, and manuals flowed into the sect endlessly. Within 15 years, they surpassed their former peak power. Imperial support to suppress the demonic sects is routine. The 7-killing demonic sect threatens the empire's stability. Yet, a much darker realization dawned upon me. My past life ended exactly 15 years ago. Yet this current vessel is already 17 years old. The timelines do not align. Was this possession? The Book of 100 Lives ensures a true rebirth. The memories fused perfectly without any internal friction. This body has always belonged to me alone. Time is not a linear, absolute path. I am a droplet within the river of time. I shake my head. Clear the distractions. Time variance is irrelevant. I remain myself. The boy from the first life was me. The spy from the second life was me. And Lin Jingzhen of this life is me. That truth is enough to suffice. Understanding the sect's state, I entered secluded meditation. The Bai Lian Hall treated my retreat as mockery. Young Master Lin will fail within 3 days. 3 days passed. 10 days. A month. Silence prevailed. 3 months later, my chamber doors finally opened. I emerged thin, eyes burning with terrifying light. Internal energy surged, manifesting around my very skin. Third-rate peak. Reaching second-rate requires only one step. The passing disciples stared in absolute disbelief. 3 months to bridge the gap towards second-rate. The true value of the 5 meridians awakened. I ate my fill, wiped my mouth, and retreated. The chamber doors slammed shut once again. Outer disciples exchanged nervous, wide-eyed glances. He actually did it. I sat cross-legged with 2 manuals before me. The White Lotus Scripture from the White Lotus Hall. The Xuan King Manual. Born from my past life's memories. My months of seclusion revealed a shocking secret. The White Lotus Scripture is a superior Holiation manual. The Xuan King Manual remains unfathomably profound and ancient. Even with maxed comprehension, I grasped only 1/3. Yet, their meridians aligned with perfect, divine precision. A crude key fits the complex lock. I began cycling both cultivation techniques simultaneously. Yin energy met pure, righteous internal force. Instead of clashing, they surged like yin-yang. Cultivation speed increased twofold in an instant. Is the White Lotus Scripture a simplified variant? Storms raged within my beating heart. Perhaps they are fragments of one supreme art. By month 4, Hallmaster Jiang Li returned. He heard reports of my closed-door seclusion. Was the brat hiding women inside? He crept toward the courtyard in silence. He eavesdropped from behind the cold wall. Doubt shifted into absolute, stunned shock. His face contorted into pure ecstasy. Bring him to the main hall. I entered and bowed with deep respect. Jiang Li lunged, gripping my shoulders tightly. His body trembled. He staggered back twice. Second-rate realm? Pure, solidified internal foundation. He stared at me like a monster. Have you truly avoided women, disciple, and stayed away from Chu Chengfeng? I have severed all ties, master. Huang Liet remained silent for a long time, then suddenly laughed aloud. His laughter was so intense his eyes turned red. Good. You are a fine boy. Your father predicted your extraordinary destiny. I thought he was boasting. Now, you have finally awakened. He strode back to the grand chair and slammed his fist against the armrest. Once you stabilize your second-rate realm, I will personally teach you my killing arts. With your talent, you may even succeed me as the master of the White Lotus Hall. My face remained respectful, yet my mind calculated rapidly. Being a hall master is fine. I desire control over all 20,000 demonic cult followers. Only by seizing the vacant sect leader throne can I crush the Yi sect. Master, I have one unanswered question. The White Lotus Heart Sutra seems incomplete. What is its true origin? I asked. Huang Liet paused his tea. His sharp gaze locked onto mine. You are truly perceptive. Things have progressed far enough. I shall tell you. Our founder was a legendary figure who surpassed the Xiantian realm. He left behind a supreme manual called the Profound Demonic Art. However, The profound demonic art is too vicious and profound. Only those with heaven-defying talent can hope to master it. Later masters dismantled it into 7 techniques for the 7 branches. Our White Lotus Heart Sutra is merely one of them. My heart trembled violently. Profound demonic art and profound clarity art. One demonic, one righteous. Yin and yang. Clearly, that profound clarity art manual is the lost half of the profound demonic art. Or, it is the righteous evolution of that very power. Kuang Liet saw my daze, assuming he had terrified me. He snorted coldly. Do not reach beyond your grasp. Only sect leaders are qualified to behold the profound demonic art. Your current task is to train diligently. Understood, master. For the next 2 years, I became a cultivation madman within the White Lotus Hall. My past life experience served as a solid foundation. Combined with my high insight and the fused, profound clarity White Lotus Chi, my cultivation progressed at an astonishing 2.5 years have passed. I sat cross-legged upon my bed. I exhaled a long, heavy breath of impurities. A white mist shot 3 meters forward, sharp like a blade, hovering, refusing to dissipate. Peak second rate. Nearly stepping into the first-rate threshold. Jiang Li summoned me to the hall. His face was unusually solemn. The Bloodblade Hall Master dies this month. My eyes flashed with cold intensity. 15 years ago, a Zi sect monster severed his arm. Now, his life force fades. The elite forces died in that war. Successors are failing to rise in time. If he dies, chaos consumes the hall. Jiang Li stared deep into my soul. The elders want a youth to become acting hall master, a temporary leader for the Bloodblade Hall. Acting hall master? Saint sect rules mandate Haudation realm for true leadership, a whetstone for blades. Who can truly survive? A breakthrough would grant power over 10,000 followers. Jiang Li approached me. His gaze burned intensely. Do you dare compete? No hesitation. Ambition suits my master's disciple well. Jiang Li nodded in profound approval. To be chosen, you must earn fame. You have cultivated in silence long enough. Now, enter the world. Spill blood. Create chaos. Let the name Lin Jing strike absolute terror. Before I left, Jiang Li produced a token. Go to Bloodblade Hall. Deliver this to the old master. I feigned a look of pure confusion. Does our saint sect care for hollow formalities? Jiang Li sighed, disappointed by my ignorance. Do you think we are mindless, bloodthirsty demons? Demonic sect is a label forced upon us by the righteous. Our sect has order and moral boundaries. We respect teachers. We do not raise mindless, bloodthirsty beasts. A cold-blooded leader ruins the empire. Who dares trust them? I understand now. This rebellion began as a military corporation. Unity is their primary foundation. My prejudice against the demonic sect blinded me. I crossed the threshold into the Bloodblade courtyard. Powerful auras clash within the deep garden. I push open the door. 18 youths occupy the spacious outer chamber. Their eyes reveal wolves, hunger, and arrogance. I scan the room. My heart sinks. 5 possess auras deep as the abyss. Peerless experts, under 20 years of age. Heroes are as common as river fish. Hostile gazes lock onto my frame immediately. I remain stoic. I nod and advance. Is that not young Master Lin? A seductive, honey-coated voice pierces the air. A beautiful figure in red rises slowly. Pale skin. Scarlet dress. Breathtaking beauty. Her eyes steal the souls of men. It is Bing the legendary courtesan. My stride halts. My pupils constrict. A fickle siren from my predecessor's memory. Her current aura is terrifyingly first-rate. She drains men to fuel her power. Chu Chengfeng was merely her disposable pawn. Young Master Lin, you have forgotten me? She approaches, reeking of lethal, alluring perfume. I watch her like a venomous viper. One touch, and my soul is forfeited. My path is martial arts. Nothing more. I retreat. My voice turns ice-cold. Bing giggles behind her velvet hand. Your pure male essence is clearly ripening. Visit my chamber. Let us discuss power. She seeks to drain my very essence. I scoff internally, keeping my expression stoic. I shall visit another time. I ignore the temptress entirely. Ignoring hostile glares, I enter the inner chamber. The room reeks of pungent medicine, decaying. The Bloodblade Hall Master, once a legend, now rests like a withered piece of wood. His face is gray. His eyes are hollow. Disciples nearby weep with false, hollow sorrow. I place the gift down, bowing respectfully. Junior Lin Jingzhe, sent by my master. The old master slowly opens his heavy eyelids. His cloudy eyes linger upon my face. My composed aura stirs something deep within him. A familiar feeling flickers in his gaze. A memory from a bloody, forgotten night. He waves his hand, dismissing the disciples. They retreat, though clearly against their will. Silence falls. His voice grates like sandpaper. Jiang Li's disciple, seeking the hallmaster title? I nod without a moment's hesitation. He smirks. His withered skin trembles slightly. Still hold that ambition? Do you still crave the seat, boy? I lock gazes. My intent is purely predatory. He freezes, then wheezes a dry, hollow laugh. A weary, cynical peace fills the room. Such wild ambition. Truly admirable. He stares through the window into the distance. Ambition cost me everything 15 years ago. I stand silent. That year, a young man sought me out. The old hallmaster coughed violently. He had infiltrated Ziyi Gate for years. He incited chaos. He promised to open their gates. With one strike, Ziyi Gate would be mine. He stared directly into my eyes. Do you know my thoughts then? I shook my head slowly. The master laughed. A desolate, owl-like screech. I thought one hall could crush them alone. Such glory would secure the throne for me. Ambition blinded my better judgment. I alerted no other halls. I bypassed the Elder Council entirely. I led 20,000 men into the trap. He shut his eyes, his voice bleeding sorrow. The result? Total annihilation. They hid a pre-heaven monster in seclusion. He waved his hand. The tables turned. Blood flooded the earth. None survived. My life was bought with their flesh. My pupils dilated. I understood my past death. The sect held 20,000 elite disciples. Destroying Ziyi Gate was simple. One more hall would have sufficed. Even a pre-heaven master would have fallen. Instead, it ended in catastrophic failure. The Bloodblade Master desired sole glory. My death was forged by his greed. How truly ironic. Two fools schemed for absolute power. Both met a gruesome, hollow end. The game lost. Karma finds everyone. I looked at my dying comrade. The resentment buried for 15 years vanished instantly. Only an indescribable sorrow remained within me. The hallmaster stared, his ash-colored pupils reflecting my face. Boy. You know why I speak? You resemble that youth from Ziyi sect. Both ambitious. Both utterly ruthless. Both believe you can devour the heavens. His withered fingers trembled, grasping at thin air. Ambition is good. But hide it. Learn patience. Do not be blinded like us. We rushed blindly. We bled out, soul destroyed. I bowed deeply to this old acquaintance. Your guidance is etched in my heart. He nodded weakly. Begone. I am tired. I turned to leave. At the threshold, I could not resist one last glance. He leaned back, watching the fading sunset. A faint smile played on his lips. He saw his younger self, and that youth. 3 days later, bells tolled. Bloodblade Hallmaster died. I listened to the chimes. His words echoed. I retreated into deep, isolated cultivation. 2 months later. The door shattered. Sharp energy pierced the sky. A first-class expert at 20. Rare in these lands. Kuang Li rejoiced. He drank with me personally. The wine flowed freely. Kuang Li asked, "What is your next move?" "Descend. Kill. Establish prestige." My voice remained cold. Kuang Li nodded, fully satisfied. True tigers cannot be caged. He slammed a wrapped bundle onto the table. "Take it." I opened the cloth. His pupils contracted. A long saber appeared. Pitch-black blade. Hilt wrapped in blood-red threads, 1 inch drawn. Suffocating bloodlust filled the air. This blade is named Bloodblade. Jiang Lai finished his drink. Old hallmaster, Lin Zhong left this for you. I gripped the hilt. Fingers traced the cold edge, like grasping a heavy, crushing destiny. Many thanks. Jiang Lai waved. Go. Carve a path. Show those elders. Our disciples are ruthless. Dawn broke. I descended alone. 5 years passed. 5 years of chaos. Blood stained the lands. I traversed deserts. I roamed the south, hunting down traitors of the holy sect, trading heads for resources. Living by impulse, slashing those arrogant sects to pieces. No boundaries exist. I follow my will. I merged White Lotus Sutra with Xuanqing. Countless death battles. I forged Bloodblade's 7 slashes. Rumors of my legend spread everywhere. A bloodthirsty demon. My techniques bring pure fear. Righteous disciples flee. Even demonic sects tremble. Soon enough. Gossips branded me with 3 monsters. The 4 young masters of demon sect. Blood Lotus Master, Lin Jingzhe. Soul Master, Jin Ping'er. Poison Hand Master, Leng Wuqing. Thousand Face Master, Ye Wei Yang. We act unchecked. Sects fall at our whim. Our strength is peerless. Our notoriety shakes the world. A proverb spreads, and never provoke the 4 madmen. Word reached me while cleaning my blade. I sat inside a quiet tea house. The 4 princes of the demonic sect. The elders have finally noticed me. My name sits on the candidate list. I seek the position of Hall Master. A seat is rightfully mine. But competition remains. 3 rivals stand in my path. They are lethal enemies. Reputation alone is not enough. I need a monumental achievement. A feat to decide my future. I waited for an opening. Half a month later, opportunity arrived. Qianfu, the richest man in Shangnan. His wealth spans thousands of acres. A few days ago, the old man grew drunk. He spilled an earth-shattering secret. His true name is Qian Lai. He was a sect protector 30 years ago. Years ago, our former leader set out. He led the elite into the shadows. This traitor leaked their location. the orthodox factions launched a brutal ambush. Our leader vanished. The sect suffered grievous losses. He traded our blood for protection. He lived 30 years in opulent luxury. News returned to the sect. The demonic sect erupted in fury. The highest blood-kill order was issued. Any disciple who kills Qian Lai earns gold and the Hallmaster title. Qian Fu panicked in terror. He bribed the 3 great orthodox sects for safety. He spent a fortune, hiring every major mercenary and bodyguard under heaven. The reward drew chaos. The city of Shangnan gathered storm clouds. The 3 orthodox leaders sent their champions, Zi Yimen, Ye Guhong, Zhang Daoxuan, and Jing Chen. All 3 are top geniuses. Their cultivation reached the first-class peak. They are called the 3 orthodox heroes. Thousands of wandering warriors followed. Mercenaries turned the estate into an iron fortress. The demonic side gathered. The 4 princes arrived in Shangnan to hunt. A deathmatch between giants. The greatest wealth versus the greatest power. A collision between the youth of 2 worlds. 3 days passed. I reached Shangnan City. The Qian estate was vast. Security was now suffocating. The walls rose 3 meters higher. Iron spikes lined every surface. Watchtowers stood like giants. Hidden sentries patrolled every corner. Not even a fly could slip through. I rented a luxury room overlooking the Qilian mansion. Ordering strong spirits, I watched from the window. This old dog truly fears death. If I cannot enter, I shall wait. Patient hunters always catch their prey. By noon, the righteous reinforcements flooded the city. From the window, I watched 3 youths. Their presence was truly extraordinary. In the center, clad in purple, stood Ye Guhong. His sword aura pierced the sky. On the left, in simple robes, stood Zhang Daoxuan. He possessed an ethereal, transcendent grace. On the right, surrounded by golden light, stood Jing Chen. His form was solemn and divine. My gaze locked onto Ye Guhong. Killing intent flickered within my eyes. Direct disciple of the elder. That head belongs to me. That night, the Qian mansion held a feast. Drinks were poured. The hall erupted in cheers. A bearded man slammed his table. He laughed boisterously. What of the demonic sect's 4 young masters? They are cowardly rats. Tonight, with the 3 heroes, we shall execute them. Laughter echoed. Victory seemed already guaranteed. Suddenly, a cold voice drifted from the rafters. Ignorant fools. Death approaches you now. Panic ensued. Blades were drawn instantly. The bearded man clutched his own throat. His face turned ghastly green. He collapsed hard. Black blood poured from his mouth. Poison! Hold your breath. Too late. Guests fell like harvested wheat. Screams of agony filled the air. Even the 3 heroes groaned in pain. They collapsed. Eyes closed, they fought the toxin. The doors swung open. Leng Wuying entered gracefully, fanning himself. His smile was sinister. Righteous heroes? Mere pigs. They could not withstand the winespring poison. He approached the table. He lifted a guard's chin. Where is the old dog Qian? The guard gritted his teeth. Silence. Leng Wuying sneered. Green poison pulsed from his palm. The guard died instantly. Amitabha. As Leng Wuying targeted the next man, Monk Jingchen opened his eyes wide. A radiant aura of Buddha burst forth. A prajna Zen palm struck his chest. He flew back. Shattered 3 tables. Collapsed. Dai Guhong and Zhang Daoxuan surged up. Sword Kui roared. No signs of poison. You thought we were defenseless against you? Dai Guhong pointed his blade. Eyes cold. We consumed antidotes. We lured you inside. Liang Von Tin vomited black blood. Face twisted. He cast toxic powder. Green bones exploded. The 3 heroes retreated instantly. A desolate blade light flashed forward. It was Zhao, master of 8 sects. He shattered the poison. His fist crushed. Liang Von Tin screamed. Fell. Blade at throat. Well done. The heroes are victorious today. The warriors cheered loudly. The tides turned. Dai Guhong sheathed his blade. He bowed. Master Zhao, your tactics are truly peerless. They marched the prisoner toward the mansion. An iron door blocked the dark vault. Master Qian, the demonic traitor, is captured. Dai Guhong shouted. Give us your orders. A shrill, trembling voice echoed within. Kill him. Tear him into 1,000 pieces. Zhang Daoxuan drew his sword. Aimed true. You heard the command? Prepare for death. He lunged. A blade pierced flesh. Not him. Zhang Daoxuan stared at the bloodied steel. Master Zhao gripped the blade, face cold. He peeled away his human mask. A pale, Ye Wei Yang, the 1,000-faced young master, stood tall. Zhang Daoxuan gasped, blood pouring out, collapsing dead. A direct disciple of the Zhenwu sect. Killed by his own trusted comrade instantly. Suddenly, Leng Wuo King rose from his knees. His hidden poison erupted. He struck them. Both targets were caught completely off guard. Blown away. Shattered bones. Blood sprayed everywhere. Surprised? Shocked? Lang Wu King wiped blood from his lips. He laughed maniacally. Ye Wei Yang flicked blood from his blade. Cold eyes watched. Your leader died 3 days ago. Righteous sects are truly pathetic fools. The tides have turned. Zhang Daoxuan fell. Diep Guhong's shoulder shattered. Jing Chen's heart meridian failed. Crimson eyes. Sword gripped tight. Signal for reinforcements. Lang Wu King roared. Too late. Listen to the chaos. Screams of slaughter echoed throughout the mansion. The servants, who served the tea, guards dropped their disguises. Blade in hand, they slaughtered the righteous disciples. The demon sect moles had infiltrated everything. A crimson flare pierced the night sky. Demon legions swarmed the walls. A black tide of blood and death. Everything is lost. Ye Geihong turned pale. He finally understood his master's final warning. The martial world is no arena. Monk Jing Chen stood up. His fading Buddha light burned with grim resolve. Donor Ye. Retreat now. The mansion is lost. They looked at each other. Abandoned the secret chamber, fighting for their lives. Lang Wu Qing pursued. But Ye Wei Yang stopped him. Leave them. The main forces approach. Breach the gate. They stood before the iron gate. They channeled their full inner power. Boom! The heavy iron gate groaned. It slowly buckled under their might. Behind a rockery, mere steps away, I stood. Drenched in blood. Hiding in shadows. I witnessed everything. From the 3 heroes, clumsy counterattack, to Yao Wei Yang's brilliant betrayal. These righteous sect geniuses. They are far too naive. Too rigid. The black iron gate began to tremble. I waited. The moment the gate shatters. When their internal energy depletes, I strike. Sever their heads. Seize the reward. Depart in silence. A mantis stalks the cicada. The oriole follows. My fingers tighten on the cold blade. Muscles tense. Chi surges through my meridians. I freeze. It is far too convenient. Infiltrating the estate. Watching the righteous path crumble. Watching them break the gate. Everything feels like a rehearsed script. The ease of it chills my spine. An invisible hand forces me forward. The old sect leader's cloudy eyes haunt me. Do not rush. Like we did back then. My past life flashes. Death under the peach tree. Why did I fall? I was arrogant. Overconfident. I ignored the hidden blade. I inhale. I crush my killing intent. My hand leaves the hilt. No haste. I calculate. Patience is my weapon. What if an ambush awaits inside? Are they luring me out? Where is Zhao Hun? I do not know. But rushing now is certain suicide. I retreat. I vanish into the chaotic crowd. That night, the world's greatest factions clashed. The righteous heroes suffered heavy losses. The 4 demonic youths plotted in shadow. 10 miles from the city, by a foul gutter, I discard my disguise. The cart lid falls. I pull out new papers. A fresh identity. My new life begins today. Suddenly, a cold voice pierced the air. Old man Qian. Where are you heading? Xi Jinping descended, her crimson dress fluttering. The cornered merchant faced certain death. Qian closed his eyes in despair. Xi Jinping struck. A lotus of black blade light bloomed. Without warning, her protective aura was shattered. She shrieked, stumbling backward. Qian rejoiced. Brave hero. Thank you for saving me. I offer my entire fortune. He approached with a fawning, oily smile. A stack of banknotes clutched in hand. A poison-tipped dagger hidden within his sleeve. But my blade moved faster than his greed. Strike! Banknotes and blood rained down together. An experienced veteran? A slow blade means death. I retrieved Qian's head. Xi Jinping had vanished into a pool of gore. The vixen escaped. She used a vile blood art to flee into the woods. I will remember this wound. You cannot escape my master. Her hateful voice faded into the wind. I stood still, flicking blood from my blade. I sneered. A defeated cur, acting like a hero. I secured the head to my belt and departed. Back at the sect, I seized the branch leader role effortlessly. 26 years old. 10,000 disciples under my command. But I knew this was not enough. The Yi sect has 20,000 disciples and a Xiantian monster. Without Xiantian power, all is vanity. I gave Master Jiang Lai the essence of the Shuangqing manual. He had been trapped at Hoxian perfection for 40 years. Jiang Li immediately began his secluded cultivation. I initiated sweeping reforms across the sect. I took control and taught the elite disciples. Using vast resources, 10 long years vanished in a flash. I purged all internal dissent within the sect. This included the treacherous ambush by Jin Bingre, Lan Wu King, and Ye Wei Yang combined. Standing upon their corpses, I became the unrivaled master. At 40, I broke through the great Hautetian realm. Jiang Yi has finally emerged from seclusion. His internal energy flows like a vast sea. He reached the Xiantian realm. Master and disciple drank deeply in the hall. After 3 rounds, I set my cup down. I stared at him with burning eyes. The Bloodblade Hall failed at Zi Mountain. We lacked a Xiantian expert back then. We have 40,000 elite troops now. With you, is it enough? Jiang Lai remained silent. He drained his cup. Murderous intent flared in his eyes. Attack! We shall dominate the martial world. 40,000 demonic troops surrounded Ziyi Mountain. Other sects were paralyzed, unable to send aid. Drums roared like thunder. Killing cries shook heaven. Our disciples charged fearlessly, crushing their defensive gates. I executed Ziyi sect leader Ye Guhong in 100 strokes. Blood drenched the stone steps. 12,000 disciples slaughtered. Only hundreds remain, trapped inside. Amidst their despair, the stone gates shattered open. An ancient Xiantian monster, 200 years old, finally emerged. Old man, I have waited for you. Jiang Li laughed wildly, soaring into the sky. Their clash shattered the mountain peaks. Winds tore everything apart. Jiang Li is in his prime. His vigor is like a dragon. The old monster is weak. His energy is nearly spent. After 300 blows, he collapsed. Jiang Li crushed his chest. He fell like a dog. I approached, blade dripping with fresh blood. I looked down at the worm. Do you remember Chen Village? The monster shuddered. A century of memories was ripped open. He stared at my demonic aura in disbelief. Why massacre the entire village? I pressed my blade against his throat. The old monster smiled miserably, coughing up blood. Retribution. Everything is simple karma. Years ago, a nobleman from Central Province commanded. Had we not craved such immense, fleeting wealth, would the Ziyi sect suffer this tragic end? Before he finished, a thunderous shock echoed. The ground shook. I looked up, startled. My gaze froze at the approaching cruelty. Thick dust choked the entire horizon. A giant battle flag snapped in the wind. The regular army of the Shangnan dynasty. 5,000 heavy cavalry. The elite Iron Pagoda. A moving wall of cold, hard steel. Suffocating death. Crushing mountains and hills. 10,000 light cavalry flanked. Bows drawn, shimmering. Martial arts sects fight. The empire reaps. Why fear them? I drew my blood blade. Just imperial dogs. Disciples charged, terrified but driven by rage. Soon, I understood the cruel disparity. This was no battle. This was slaughter. Expert sword techniques, no matter how refined, crumbled like paper against the armored cavalry. Their first charge ripped our formation apart. A rain of arrows felled us like wheat. Retreating, I roared with a blood-choked throat. It was too late. 3 heavy lances blocked my only path. I shattered the spears, but the impact ruptured. Jingzhe, flee now! In despair, Jiang Dai charged like madness. Xiantian true origin erupted without restraint. One palm strike crushed a dozen warhorses. Mortals cannot stop 1,000-strong iron tide. Thud! A massive lance pierced Jiang Lai's chest. The invincible White Lotus Bloodhand fell silent. He stared at the blade. He collapsed. I barely escaped with my own life. Like a stray dog without a home, I fled across the wilds all night. At dawn, I collapsed beneath a tree. Everything is truly ruined now. 15 years of planning, reduced to nothing. I stared at the gray, lifeless sky. I laughed. Chen Mo, you are an absolute fool. Practicing martial arts is not cultivating immortality. Here, the state machine is the mountain. Peasants fighting armored cavalry? A death wish. How utterly pathetic and laughable. My laughter masked a deeper, darker ambition. It is not over. I will return. I will no longer train solo warriors. I will forge a true demon army. Absolute discipline, perfect formations, brutal charges, heavy armor. I shall forge them all. I will trample their banners into mud. I gripped my blade and stood up. Suddenly, the morning light was blocked out. A figure appeared, without a sound, standing 10 feet away, blocking the sun. A slender man in luxurious silk robes. My pupils constricted. It is Chu Chengfeng, my former companion from the pleasure sect. He almost ruined me before my awakening. Why is he here? He turned slowly. A sudden epiphany struck my mind. I recalled Jin Bingir escaping the Qinian estate. The soul-severing prince will never let this go. Run quickly, Prince of Blood Lotus. Chu Chengfeng chuckled, his voice dripping with sinister charm. My grip tightened. My knuckles turned deathly white. You are the true soul-severing prince. Chu Chengfeng flicked his sleeve, nodding with magnanimous grace. Jin Bingir was merely my sacrificial shield. Before my powers reached full maturity, I needed a puppet to divert the world's gaze. He stepped forward, eyes brimming with mocking contempt. For years, her victims became my personal nourishment. She believed her techniques drained others dry. Yet, during every session of dual cultivation, every drop of energy flowed back to me. Even her prized cultivation was devoured by me. My heart shattered. Sensing his terrifying aura, I growled, "You have reached the Xiantian realm." Chu Chengfeng stroked the lock of his hair. Fortune favors me. I achieved breakthrough recently. Trapped at the edge, I found no words. I slowly drew my shattered blood blade. A flash of surprise crossed his cruel eyes. Wounded and still seeking your own death? Lin Mo never surrenders to fate. I inhaled deeply, exhausting my final reserves. The seventh blade strike formed a bloody lotus. I struck with suicidal, ruthless intent. Chu Chengfeng did not move. He merely flicked a finger. A sharp ring. The forged blade shattered instantly. His palm fluttered like a butterfly, striking my chest. I was launched back like a broken doll. I stared at the imprint crushed into my chest. Chu Chengfeng sauntered closer. Prince of Blood Lotus, the words you spoke at the brothel gate, I have etched them into my very soul. You chose to part ways. Then you dared claim only one demon prince shall remain. Well said. Now I shall reveal the truth. Our young master belongs to Zhao Hun alone. I watch her alluring face in silence. Dawn light creeps into the mountain cave. Raise an army. Crush the imperial court. To live into the next life. Infinite regrets surge through my mind. Resignation finally begins to fade away. A bitter, mocking smile touches my lips. Feeble. Mastering the martial world, yet ruled by fate. Such is destiny. The light in my eyes vanishes. Opening my eyes, I return to the void. The ancient scroll opens. Light erupts. Third life concluding. Lin Jingzhen, age 40. Slain by Zhao Hun. Lifelong achievements. Awakening at age 15. First-rate warrior at age 20. Acting hall master at age 26. Officially ascended at age 32. Defeated 3 foes single-handedly. Crushed the enemy. Destroyed Zihi sect. Slaughtered 10,000. Forced the elder's hand. You finally eradicated your true enemies. Ended their entire bloodline. Vengeance achieved. Yet, you realized the truth. You viewed yourself as a lone wanderer. Imperial cavalry taught you. Might is absolute. Dying to Chu Chengfeng was utterly shameful. Improve next time. Rank. Black Iron. Tier 10. Reward. 1,000 points. My eyes lock onto the score. Madness stirs. Past life. 288 points. I conquered the martial world. 1,000 points ensures a monumental evolution. Yet, I will remember this bloody lesson. In this world, the army is truth. A terrifying, razor-sharp light flashes within me. Does this world truly contain mere mortals? The existence of the mortal 100-life tome and the endless cycle of reincarnation prove something. Within some distant, undefined dimension, there must exist higher tiers of cultivation. This Shangnan kingdom is simply too small. I cannot reach that higher realm. One day, I will rise. I will see if armored cavalry looks like ants to cultivators. Shaking off these thoughts, I view the light screen. I choose to strengthen my fourth life. 1,000 points available. Strengthening options activated. Insight is 0. 2 points per level. Talent is 0. 3 points per level. Awakening a special bloodline requires 1,000 points. All 1,000 points into bloodline? My heart races with intensity. Yet, cold logic crushes my gambling urge. Awakening a bloodline demands vast, heavenly treasures. I am starting as a beggar. Would that not lead to an early grave? To stay safe, a balanced warrior is king. I divide the points. Insight 500. Talent 500. Point allocation complete. Fourth life begins. Good luck, host. The ancient tome flips. My consciousness falls into an endless abyss. Where is the money? Hand over the military rations now. A drunken, gravelly roar slams against my ears. No. That is food for my family of 4. A woman replies with a desperate sob. Are you going to gamble again? Disgusting. I am drinking. Military funds are my funds. Hand it over. Slap. Memories flood my mind like a waterfall. My eyes snap open. I bolt up from a rotting wooden bed. I remain in the Shangnan kingdom. Yet I am in a remote. I have transmigrated into the son of a hereditary soldier. My name is Chen Palu, 15 years of age. A soldier's life seems noble. Yet we are mere slaves. No land to farm. No trade allowed. Corrupt officials seize our meager monthly wages, not even enough for a bowl of thin porridge. My father is a drunken, gambling, worthless piece of trash. I turn. In the shadows, my 10-year-old brother, Chen Ping'an, trembles. My mother, Lady Chu, shields a small bundle, bruised and battered. Before her stands Chen Danyu, my father in this life, a drunken degenerate. A disastrous start. My expression remains completely cold. I possess peerless talent. I will not be oppressed by trash. I rise. I step forward to shield my family. Chen Danyu raises his leg. Move, you wretched brat. I do not move. I stare into his eyes. The monthly wage. Hand it over to me. Chen Danyu rages. A violent strike descends like a gale. I will kill you, you beast. I shift my weight. I dodge with precision. His massive frame loses balance. He nearly faceplants. Father. You cannot defeat me. I speak the cold truth. An invisible killing intent radiates. Chen Danyu shudders. He looks at my frail, thin body. He senses a lone wolf in the wilderness. Cold sweat drenches his back. Fine, you rebels. I will go drink on credit. Chen Danyu screams. He storms out in a fury. Silence fills the room. Mother rises and embraces me, weeping. Palu? I feel her warmth. I pause for a moment. My hands know only blood. I pat her back gently. Mother. Peace is here. I will protect this family. From the shadows, Pingan watches with wide, admiring eyes. Brother, you were so incredible just now. I ruffled her messy hair. Are you hungry, little one? Bin-an nodded her head repeatedly. I turned to look at Mother. Mother, how much salary remains? She, trembling, unwrapped a small cloth. Only 32 coins remained. A month's life, for 4 people. Buy rice first. I pushed the coins back. Leave the future to me. Late at night, bone-chilling winds whistled through the shack. I lay on the wooden plank. I calmed my mind. I checked my body. I was stunned. All meridians flowed perfectly. My 500 aptitude points revealed their terrifying power. This body is a martial arts peak. Monstrously stronger than Lin Mo was. Moments later, I found a fatal flaw. My body was bone-thin, parched like withered grass. Severe malnutrition. Forced cultivation meant instant death. Literature costs money. Martial arts costs resources. This truth remains absolute. Lacking meat and medicine, talent leads only to death. I must obtain meat first. Within the darkness, I forged my goal. The next day, Mother traded everything for brown rice and 2 eggs. By evening, the shack smelled of fresh rice. Watching Bin-an tremble with joy, I fed her an egg. Eat. I will provide meat daily. I swallowed the second egg. My body needed nourishment. Without strength, how can I protect them? For a month, Mother sewed endlessly. I ate until I was full. When the rice bin emptied, I sat cross-legged. I finally cultivated a glimmer of true energy. I unleashed the Shuang King technique. My 500 perception points ignited. The final bottleneck of my past life? It vanished like snow in spring. Everything became perfectly clear. After one night, the Shuang King technique reached perfection. Internal energy flowed like a rushing stream. I reached the third-rate martial artist realm effortlessly. The energy flowed silently, yet endlessly. It rivaled a peak stage master. I opened my eyes. Light flickered. I remembered the words, Chu, Cheng Feng, spat over my corpse. Green peaks conceal the morning mist. Blood lotuses wither. White bones remain. Petals drift away. Hearts cold as clouds. Such is the truth of Xuan Mo Manual. I remember my true enemy. The sage of Ziyi sect warned me. A corrupt official in Central Province. He ordered the slaughter of Chen village. Patience is required. 10 lifetimes of hatred, yet revenge will come. No need for haste. Suppress the bloodlust. The urgent matter? Tomorrow's breakfast. I bid Mother farewell. I enter the vast, endless, green mountains. I expected easy hunts. The beasts are far smarter than men. The first month was bitter. 2 rabbits a day. Barely surviving. I did not falter. My 500 comprehension points were earned. I studied veteran traps. I analyzed tracks and beast droppings. The second month, I carried a 300-pound boar down. The entire village was stunned. Chen Danyu drooled. He tried to steal meat. I lifted him effortlessly before his eyes. I crushed a boulder to dust. Chen Danyu wet himself. He became a terrified ghost hereafter. Excess meat went to the starving villagers. I was once weak. Now, the village respects their leader. Everywhere I walk, people bow in reverence. Respect earned. The third month, I hunted the man-eating tiger nearby. Half an hour of battle. Using Xuan Qing martial arts, I shattered its skull. One strike. Heart destroyed. I walked in. Like a divine god descending, the Tiger Slayer fame spread. General Zhao of Yanmen Pass arrived. He offered a place in the Yanling Guard. Boy, will you join my elite guards? I did not hesitate. 2 months to settle affairs. 2 months passed. My cultivation peaked. A 16-year-old second-rate warrior is incredibly rare. I kept my promise and reached Yanmen Pass. Lofty walls. Dense battle banners. Barracks emanated a murderous aura. Old soldiers patrolled the perimeter. They provoked me to test my strength. I drew my blade without hesitation. Blood Lotus 7 kill strike activated. Crimson light sliced through the freezing air. Blade speed unmatched. They knelt in fear. My pride was shattered by the commander. Elder Chu poured cold water. The commander stood at late Hoshin realm. Skilled blade, but useless in true war. I frowned in deep thought. Elder Chu replied with cold detachment. Military combat ignores flair. Only killing matters. Your style smells of common martial arts. Real war renders fancy swordsmanship completely useless. I sheathed my blade. Please, Teach me. The Blood Lotus legend vanished that day. I traded my blade for a spear. I rose at dawn. Stabbing practice began. Archery and horse training filled the day. My 500-point aptitude surged forward. I discarded all flashy, worthless techniques. Thrust, parry, slash, sweep, sever. A battlefield-shattering style was finally forged. The border-breaking spear technique emerged. Advance, never retreat. Brutal, decisive strikes. 2 years of relentless, agonizing training. My skills reached the pinnacle of perfection. I reached the peak of first-rate power. 18 years old. My true trial begins. Warning, smoke rises along the border. 500 elite Chiang cavalry charge forward, pillaging everything. 100 Yanling guards are deployed. 100 against 500. I ride my black stallion. Gale winds whip my heavy black armor. My first battle in 2 lifetimes. Leading as a professional soldier. The war horn moans. 100 iron horses slam into enemy lines. I lead the charge. Eyes cold as iron. No fancy lotus petals formed from chi. No bizarre, unpredictable movement techniques. Only extreme speed. Only absolute ruthlessness. Strike! The first spear thrust like a dragon. It pierces a Chiang cavalryman's throat. I heaved him into the air. He crashes into 2 others. Second strike. Using the horse's momentum, I sweep my thick ashwood spear. I crush their spines. Bone-shattering cracks echo across the battlefield. Thrust. Retract. Thrust again. A heartless killing machine. My technique is simplistic, yet lethal. The Chiang cavalry realize the truth. No parry works. That bloodied spear always finds their armor's weakness. We pierce the ranks. Turn around. 7 charges through the enemy formation. The last foe falls. Deadly silence blankets the field. Only heavy breathing remains, bathed in fresh gore. My blood or theirs? I cannot tell. I rein in my horse. Spear tip points downward. Blood drips onto the earth. 50 Chiang corpses lay before me. Each killed in 1 blow. I dismount. Sever the enemy commander's head. I hold it aloft. The Yanling veterans surround me. My Shura killing intent terrifies them. Throats gulp in fear. Chen Palu. Are you even human? I stay silent. Tether the head to my saddle. Ride back toward Yanmen Pass. News reaches the pass. Total shock. 18 years old. 50 heads taken in battle. Beheading an enemy general amidst thousands. Like walking through empty air. That day, my name, Chen Palu, echoed throughout Yanmen Pass. Inside the commander's tent, I knelt down. My eyes scanned the room in silence. In the center sat an armored elder. His white hair framed a battle-hardened soul. Li Longcheng, general of Yanmen, is a legend. To Shangnan dynasty, he is an icon. 30 years ago, 20,000 barbarians invaded. Panic gripped the court. He held them back. The battle raged for 3 grueling months. He recaptured the city 3 times over. 80,000 corpses littered the desert plains. Blocking the enemy was his life's work. I knelt, calculating. This summons meant more. A peasant boy, starving 3 years ago. Now an elite warrior, at 18 years. Solo charges. 50 heads taken in battle. Such sudden power defies all natural logic. I knew suspicion would surely follow me. The old general finally broke his silence. I looked up. His gaze felt like blades. The general stared at me for ages. Suddenly, he laughed. A hunter, 3 years ago? Now you break entire enemy lines alone? Speak. How did you do this? The generals stared. Their eyes burned cold. My answer was already prepared in advance. 3 lifetimes spent in this mortal realm. I have seen every petty, scheming soul. I never trust in pure, selfless hearts. True loyalty is a rare, fading ghost. General, I found a secret demonic inheritance. The tent erupted in immediate, chaotic whispers. A demonic master. Beyond the legendary realm. Even Li Longcheng felt a sudden shift. Are you absolutely certain of this? I nodded firmly. I read every single inscribed character. The green peak hides morning mist. Bloodied snails with thars. White bones await 7 petals drifting away. The human heart hides in silent clouds. The tent falls silent. Generals hold their breath. After 3 years, the general finds clues. The green peak is a mass grave. White bones form a lotus map. I offer my life for this location. This is the bait I carefully crafted. Li Longcheng has been stuck for decades. With the Lin Mo manual, he proceeds. An immediate breakthrough to the Xiantian realm. 100 years of life restored. None can resist such a tempting offer. I shall be the Oriole behind him. I whisper to my own soul. His reaction is a strike to me. You are remarkably honest, young one. He leans back. His eyes are unfathomable. Do you know my age, young man? 97 years. The longevity is yours, General. But have you truly considered this? How long would my seclusion truly take? Years pass. Who stops the barbarian invasion? His voice thunders like a dying storm. Who will lead these 30,000 troops? Who will protect the millions within gates, watching the central plains burn in fire? What worth is my extra century then? The tent is deathly. Hollow silence. The iron-willed generals lower their heads. Their eyes burn with sudden tears. I stand frozen. I lived 3 lives. I have calculated countless devious schemes. None expected a fool to trade immortality for mortal peace. Li Longcheng shifted his tone. I can deploy scouts to help you, I gasped. General, you are 18. Stronger than me. You shall guard these borders. The old general waved his hand. Stand up. Kneeling is quite tiring. I stood. Waves of emotion crashed within me. A realization surfaced. Commander Chu once intentionally exposed weaknesses in my saber techniques. They lacked battlefield utility. He forced me to master the spear. General. Back then, Commander Chu, Li Longcheng chuckled. I ordered him to do that. Sharp blades break easily. Separating the martial world from war is vital. This old man was protecting me from the very start. I inhaled deeply. Manipulating such a noble man made me sick. My ambition is the Tao. I will not remain at Yanmen Pass. Looking at the old general, I spoke. General. I possess a manual on warfare. My own humble creation. I brought paper and ink. I wrote from memory. I inscribed the greatest military classic, The Art of War. Li Longcheng glanced, then trembled. His expression shifted into utter shock. Best to win without fighting. Truly magnificent. Li Longcheng stared at me intensely. He tucked the pages away with utmost solemnity. His voice cracked with emotion. This manual outweighs 10 Xuan Ma manuals combined. Scouts were dispatched to track the lotus-shaped bone formation. A year later, they unearthed a stone box 300 miles away. The Xuan Ma manual was finally in my possession. Clutching the scroll, I laughed with pure, unrestrained joy. Chu Chengfeng used this to dominate in my past life. Sadly, he was crushed by the imperial army within 6 months. Thrown into the dungeon, his secrets rotted away. Now, they belong to me. Such a windfall. You pathetic wretch. You wove a wedding dress for me, I whispered to myself. I immediately decided to enter seclusion. With 500 insight points, the mild Xuan Qing manual and fierce Xuan Mo manual forcibly split my circulation into 2 distinct paths. Pure as a stream, wild as a flame. Upon exiting, I encountered 30 barbarian horsemen. I lunged forward. Not even drawing my spear. Dual energy surged forth. I unleashed a single punch, crushed man and horse into bloody ruin. 30 strikes. 30 corpses shattered. The Yanling guards stared, witnessing a god of slaughter. At 21, I breached the minor post-heaven realm, peerless in combat. Still, I hungered for more. My true focus remained on total fusion. If energy evolves, is this the fabled power of immortals? Alas, experiments failed. Fire and water collided. I nearly exploded into nothingness. Winter descended. A century-long blizzard struck the plains. The barbarians starved. 10,000 soldiers gathered. A desperate gamble. They assaulted the border pass. They marched toward the south. Li Longcheng commanded the central defense. His tactical mastery was truly divine. Feigning defeat. Setting ambushes. Layered fire traps. I led 3,000 Yanling guards like a razor-sharp blade. Dual energies erupted in unison. I fought like a 1,000-man army. One strike launched their greatest champion into oblivion. I crushed the enemy's command tent. 3 days of carnage. 30,000 heads claimed. They will fear the south for 20 years. News reached the capital. The empire erupted in fervor. An imperial decree followed. Li Longcheng became Northern Protector. I rose 3 ranks, serving as a guerrilla general. Yet, no title of nobility was granted, because the cowards within the imperial court, those who simply replied noted before the slaughter, proceed as planned. They divide the spoils. The mastermind receives nothing. At the victory banquet, generals seethed with unspoken indignation. Yet Li Longcheng merely sipped wine. He watched the moon. Do I truly crave nobility? I seek only peace. If barbarians vanish, titles mean nothing. He turned and patted my shoulder. You have suffered. With your merit, you deserve a general's rank. A general. Yet, I despise such ranks. I looked at Li Longcheng. My eyes burned. General, a favor. Have you heard of Guan Peide? Guan Peide, mastermind of the Tran village massacre. Li Longcheng froze. A former minister. A royal relative. I know him. He supported the Yanmen garrison. He mentored me. Li Longcheng frowned. Why do you ask? His hands hold innocent blood. My people's blood. Li Longcheng remained silent. He sighed deeply. Regardless of your grudges, child, you cannot win. You cannot seek revenge against him. My gaze turned ice cold. Is his influence truly that vast? No. He is dead. Li Longcheng stared. 10 years ago, he passed peacefully. Dead? A peaceful end? I stood alone in the tent. My mind reeled. The enemy I hunted for 4 lifetimes. The target I cultivated for with my life. Years of careful planning. He died comfortably in bed. No anger remained. Only a hollow, absurd emptiness. A century of power. A mountain of blood. Nothing but dust. 10 lifetimes of hatred. Vengeance is now impossible. I could not help but laugh bitterly. Time is a cruel joke. I hated him for centuries. He died of old age. Desecrating his grave seems meaningless. I stared up at the vast night sky. The blur in his eyes turned into obsession. He refused to be a mere mortal. With the 100-era book, immortality is mandatory. Otherwise, time will turn me into dust. General. Does a true immortal exist? Li Longcheng startled. I have seen nothing. Legends claim the Shangnan king is divine. Pure fiction. The old general patted my shoulder. His voice deepened. Why chase hollow immortality? Flesh dies. Your name will live forever. A legacy is the only true immortality. Days later, he demanded I join him. Arriving at the capital, I was famous. My solo charge became a legendary myth. The military manual I gifted spread rapidly. Black market price? 100 million silver. Officials once despised us frontier warriors. After reading the Sun Tzu art, they gazed at me with pure reverence, praising me as a scholar general. The young emperor stared, eyes wide open. Without the empress, he would bow down. Tall trees catch wind. Rivals emerge. Wang Teng, heir to the duke. Peak half-step Hautetian cultivation realm. Jealous of my fame, he challenged me. He demanded a duel at the arena. Day 3. The crowd roared. Wang Teng drew his blinding blade. His aura shattered the air. The spectators screamed in absolute terror. I walked up. Draw your blade, Wang Teng roared. A lethal strike. I stood still. I didn't budge. He raised his right hand. A faint strand of essence danced upon his fingertip. Snap. He flicked his finger forward. The legendary blade shattered into countless pieces. Unstoppable power surged, slamming directly into Wang Teng's chest. Thud. He flew backward 10 meters. He collapsed, vomiting blood. Unconscious. The arena fell into deathly silence. One strike. Small Hautetian crushed the master. He glanced around coldly. He brushed off the dust and turned away. It is finished. The match silenced every arrogant fool in the capital. Days later, noble officials swarmed the entrance. Gifts piled high. He dismissed them like trash. On the 5th day, chaos erupted. The prison was breached. A Xiantian expert stormed the gates. The demonic sect leader escaped. Hearing the news, his teacup paused mid-air. Chu Chengfeng. A persistent, treacherous serpent. He vaulted upward. He sprinted across the rooftops. The gate became a slaughterhouse. Limbs lay scattered everywhere. He hid within shadows. 2 figures pierced the blockade. One was Chu Chengfeng. Pale, cruel, like a vulture. The other, a woman in white, veil shielding her face. She flicked her wrist. Swordlight slashed across the earth. The Xiantian pressure was immense. His own essence began to churn. They soared through the sky. He locked eyes with his prey. He remained still. Challenging a Xiantian? Pure suicidal folly. Furthermore, his heart skipped a beat. The woman's silhouette felt hauntingly familiar. A strange, inexplicable sense of recognition. Your luck is truly heaven-sent. Treacherous old man. You live another day. He watched them vanish. He turned away in silence. The storm settled. Chu Chengfeng escaped. The authorities swallowed their defeat. Warrants were issued. The autumn wind howled, burying the path in dust. Li Longcheng rode his horse, eyeing me with complex intent. You truly refuse to stay in the capital? It holds endless wealth and absolute glory. I shook my head. General, the capital cannot offer my desires. Li Longcheng halted his steed, staring me down. What do you truly seek? Silent. I gazed toward the winding Yin mountain range. Mortal power, wealth, or revenge? Mere fleeting clouds. The world cannot grant my true desire. Smiling, I addressed the elder. General, let us return home. Li Longcheng hesitated, then laughed heartily. Very well. Let us go home. Back at the border, life became serene and meaningful. I rejected all imperial gold and jewels. Every coin fueled our great army. I commissioned thousands of forged blades. 3,000 Yanling guards became the North's sharpest spear. Barbarian scouts fled upon seeing our standard. They dared not face us. Chen Palu, the god of slaughter. His name silenced weeping children. Years later, my brother Chen Pinan joined the ranks. His talent was dull. His resolve was peerless. Others trained 1 hour. He trained 3. With my guidance, he became a supreme lieutenant. 2 brothers. 1 legend. Yet, I remained unwed. At 35, I reached the great Hautetian peak. Dual internal energies surged. My combat power grew terrifying. Yet, a bitter reality remained. Despite every calculation, These forces clashed violently. They refused to merge into true spiritual essence. I understood my mortal path had ended. Without a cultivation manual, immortality remains a dream. A decade of peace. Li Longcheng stood tall, an unyielding pillar. Tran Bin An can now stand alone. The time to leave has come. Inside the command tent, Li Longcheng watched me for a long time. Finally, he laughed brightly. I have judged many men in my life, but your disregard for power, seeking only the Da Bao, is truly unique. Remember, Yanmen Pass is your home. I bowed, whipped my horse, and rode into the vast unknown. This journey lasted for 7 long years. For 7 years, I traversed mountains, rivers, ancient temples, and hidden hermitages. Legends of fairylands were nothing but empty lies. Then, on the 7th Mid-Autumn Festival, atop a desolate peak, the moonlight shone like water. The vital energy suppressed for 7 years finally underwent a total transformation. Qi refined. Xiantian realm. I reached the peak of mortal martial arts. Yet 2 inner energies refused to harmonize. I opened my eyes, staring toward the imperial capital. I must travel there at once. The Shangnan Imperial Forbidden Ground holds stone steels left by ancient ancestors. My final clue. Entering the capital again, I moved like a ghost. Protected by Xiantian energy, royal guards were mere scenery. I marched into the palace's deepest forbidden zone. An ancient, nameless stone stood there, radiating an aura that shattered the soul. As I approached, 3 murderous auras erupted. Who dares trespass here? 3 gray-robed elders descended. Veteran Xiantian experts. Scram! I struck with 2 palms. Azure chi and demonic flames exploded outward. Boom! Walls crumbled instantly. The 3 royal guards staggered back, eyes filled with absolute terror. 2 distinct energies? Impossible! The clash alerted the entire inner palace. Thousands of imperial troops flooded in like a tide. Heavy crossbows filled the night sky. My heart sank. Even the demon sect master Chu Chengfeng perished against human wave tactics. Do not engage. I channeled my Qinggang aura, braced for the arrows, and vaulted skyward. True demon energy erupted, carving a bloody path. I broke through the encirclement of 3 Xiantian masters and thousands of soldiers. I cleared the city wall and vanished into the night. Half an hour later, atop a desolate mountain peak, I brushed the dust from my robes. Regret filled my heart. Just a moment more. I was inches from that ancient stone steel. Once my cultivation advances, I shall return. But fate never follows one's plans. I hid in seclusion for barely 3 years. Then, news shattered the heavens. 18 nomadic tribes united. 800,000 soldiers invaded the south. The central plains trembled. Yanmen Pass faced imminent destruction. I did not hesitate. I rode 6 horses to exhaustion, racing north. Reaching Yanmen Pass, corpses towered like mountains, rivers of blood. A landscape of death and utter despair. I grabbed a blood-drenched soldier. Where is General Li? His eyes turned bloodshot. He wept bitterly. 7 days ago, the barbarians launched an all-out assault. The old General Li defended the walls personally. A Luochuan arrow pierced his chest. Before passing, he gripped the war banner tight. He refused to fall. He shouted to guard Yinshan Mountain. My hands dropped. I entered the command tent, finding a single blood-stained letter. Fa Lo? Seeing this letter is seeing my face. I am gone. A life of battle ends here. I am satisfied. My only Li Longcheng's final masterpiece. I stood frozen in the empty command tent all night. The next day, I received news of my brother, Chen Pingyan. Protecting fleeing civilians, he was crushed by hundreds of barbarian cavalry. No living trace. No corpse found. My elderly mother, Lady Chu, had gone completely insane. With snow-white hair, she smiled blankly and gripped my hand. Is that you, Phalo? Last night, I dreamt of Pingyan. A divine being on a giant white crane took him away. He is in the heavens, waving at me. I looked at her clouded eyes. My throat felt choked with dry earth. I wanted to say we need proof of life or death, but I just nodded firmly. Mother is right. Pingyan has ascended to cultivate eternal life. Lady Chu chuckled, yet tears streamed down her face. I turned toward Li Longcheng's grave, backed by mountains, facing the plains. I poured 2 cups of strong wine, one for the earth, one for me. General, rest in peace. I will guard Yanmen Pass for you. I smashed the wine bowl violently. I turned abruptly. Killing intent solidified in my gaze. Barbarian horses shall not cross Yin Mountain. That day, the barbarians thought Li Longcheng dead. Yanmen Pass seemed easily claimed. Then the gates swung wide open. I stood in black armor. 1 man. 1 spear. An Asura charged forward. Luo Chen, the lawbreaker, the god of slaughter, has returned. Their army of 800,000 halted by my hand alone. Finally, 300,000 imperial reinforcements arrived. The commander was the young lord I once defeated in a single strike. Now, he is Wang Teng, Grand Marshal of the Empire. In the tent, we reunited after 20 long years. Wang Teng gazed at me with unfathomable depth and smiled bitterly. Post-heaven and innate states are a thin veil. I chased you 20 years, yet I cannot even see your shadow. Suppressing his emotions, he gritted his teeth. The barbarians have 800,000 soldiers. We stand no chance. My finger points to the map's heart. Lead 30,000 troops to strike frontally. I will command 3,000 elite riders. We pierce their flank toward the palace. 3,000 against 800,000? Insane. Kill the Khan. Seize their royal banner. I stare at Wang Teng. Trust me. Wang Teng clenches his fist, nodding solemnly. My life is in your hands. 3 days later, the decisive battle erupts. Blood flows like rivers. I lead ghosts. 3,000 dark-armored warriors advance silent. We march 3 days, reaching the tent. Charge the Huns with me. I roar. My celestial power reaches peak. My spear becomes a raging dragon. One thrust obliterates 10,000 soldiers. One sweep destroys 100 generals. I cut through them like molten steel. The Khan flees, panicked, shielded by guards. Horse and rider leap into the air. My spear strikes like crashing thunder. Impact! The shaft impales the Khan. He is pinned. His chest cavity collapses. He falls. The Hun lines crumble instantly. My legend grows. Their army is broken. The imperial decree arrives soon after. I am named General of Conquering Enemies. A grand military mansion is granted me. No title given. They stole the credit. My soldiers seethe with deep resentment. I sit alone before Li Longcheng's grave. I sip wine. I mutter to myself. 50 years defending borders. Still no title. Why should I concern myself? From that moment, I guarded the border. I stabilized the region and nurtured the people. I transformed the frozen wastes into a paradise. To grant my aging mother her final wish, I wed a virtuous lady from the local region. We raised a family as years drifted by. At 96, mother passed away with a smile. She whispered my name, ascending with the immortals. I have grown old. My hair is white. My face is weathered. It was not lack of lifespan, but failed cultivation. My meridians are shattered. My path is dead. My journey toward immortality has finally ended. At 80, I led 20,000 soldiers to battle. We marched to the sacred Lingxi Mountains. We eradicated the Hu remnants once and for all. Conquering the mountain was a historic victory. The emperor finally seized his chance to act. He ignored the empress and summoned me home. The border soldiers wept at my departure. My aged deputy grasped my trembling hand. General, you finally received your deserved glory. I gazed at the decree with a calm smile. Approaching the capital, the crowds lined the streets. The palace hall was filled with grand festivities. The 60-year-old emperor sat upon his throne. Beside him sat the empress, master of shadows. After the third cup, I stood tall. Your Majesty, before I perish, I have one final request. May I view the immortal Stengel? The smile vanished from the emperor's face. Moments later, the empress dowager's frosty voice echoed from behind the pearl curtain. The royal forbidden zone. Officials cannot enter. Does General Chen intend to usurp power? I nodded calmly, without anger. I simply picked up the imperial wine before me, draining the cup in a single breath. As the liquor flowed down my throat, a fierce poison erupted instantly, tearing through my internal organs. Generals bring peace, yet never live to see it. I already foresaw this outcome. Overwhelming merit threatens the master. Coupled with the power struggle between empress and emperor, death is my only destiny today. I did not even bother to resist this fate. My meridians have long been ruined. The great path is entirely severed. This poisoned wine shall cleanse my mortal flesh, opening the path for my next reincarnation. Seeing black blood drip from my lips, the emperor's expression shifted to absolute horror, standing up abruptly. Poison in the wine? Empress Dowager, you! Before he finished speaking, the main palace doors suddenly slammed open. Grand Marshal Wang Deng led thousands of armored imperial guards, storming straight into the grand hall. He looked at me, his eyes filled with mixed emotions. Brother Chen, do not blame me. The world only knows the flying general, not the Grand Marshal. I had no choice. Simultaneously, 3 majestic innate experts descended from the sky, sealing off all my escape routes. A wave of chilling cold surged through my heart. This grand formation. Quite an honor for an 80-year-old man. But in the next instant, my pupils constricted violently. The pearl curtain parted. The Empress Dowager stepped out with slow, measured strides. Time seemed to have left no marks upon her flawless face. Beneath her noble, elegant demeanor lay an innate pressure far more terrifying than the 3 experts combined. This precise aura. The white-robed female innate expert who raided the prison to save the demon sect leader. My eyes locked onto that face. The mist of memory shattered instantly. My past life and the person before me perfectly overlap. My voice grew raspy, trembling with utter disbelief. What is your surname? The Empress Dowager looked down from above at my dying self, completely oblivious to my thoughts. Confronted by my deep, clouded eyes, She was somehow compelled by fate to speak her reply. My surname is Guan. My given name is Zixian. My late father, Guan Beidai, once served as Minister of War. Guan Beidai. Guan Zixian. Zhao Hua. The girl sheltered by the Chen family village. Yet, she ultimately brought down catastrophic destruction. The daughter of the mastermind behind the purple robe sect. Clang! The golden cup slipped from my hand, shattering against the floor. So that is it. So this is the truth. A search spanning 4 lifetimes. A century-old ocean of blood vengeance. At the final hour, the enemy's daughter sits atop the throne of power, enjoying supreme wealth and glory. While I spent 60 years amidst blades, drinking blood, and sleeping in snow, only to end up serving the very puppet master who slaughtered my entire clan. Guarding this empire my whole life? Truly laughable. Truly ironic. I laughed. A raspy, tragic laughter erupted from the depths of my throat, laughing until black blood overflowed, staining my white beard crimson. The Empress Dowager furrowed her brows tightly. An inexplicable sense of dread suddenly seized her. Old General Chen, what are you laughing at? I shook my head. Nothing. The poison invaded my heart. My vision began to blur. In my fading consciousness, I seemed to see the cicada-filled summer of my first lifetime. I saw the young girl. Her clothes were tattered, yet her beauty was peerless. I saw the purple-robe assassins descending from above. I saw the faceless villagers, their eyes gouged out. My body slowly collapsed backward. The moment my eyes closed, I used my last ounce of strength to whisper a ghostly promise, meant for the Empress Dowager alone. I will return. As if struck by lightning, the Empress Dowager stared blankly at my corpse. Her fingertips trembled uncontrollably. The Emperor slumped onto his throne, his face pale as ash. The grand hall fell dead silent. My bizarre, final smile suffocated everyone present, leaving them unable to breathe. After a long silence, the Empress Dowager turned around, attempting to shake off the oppressive gloom. Her cold voice echoed through the hall. Bury him with state honors. My consciousness snapped back to the void. I stood inside that endless, stark white space, silent for an eternity. In my mind, that exquisite face constantly overlapped. The 18-year-old maiden whom the Chen family village snatched from the jaws of death. The current Empress Dowager, Guan Zixian, who bestowed poisoned wine 70 years later. Back then, hunted by bandits, her clothes torn, her innocence stolen. Honest villagers deceived the authorities, rescuing her from that dark, hidden cellar. The day she left, she smiled gently at the boy looking up from the crowd. That boy was me. That profound emotion was carved so deeply that 4 reincarnations could never erase it. And now, I have finally pieced together the blood-soaked truth. She wanted to marry the crown prince. To become mother of the world, she required absolute purity. Forbidden arts could repair her body, but they could never silence hundreds of mouths. Her saviors became the greatest thorn in her flesh. Thus, her father, the Minister of War, backed the Purple Robe sect to slaughter over 100 souls. Men, women, elderly, and children. The entire Chen family village, including my parents, my wife, and my children from that first lifetime, all turned into sacrificial offerings to bury her secret. So that is it. So that is the truth. Standing in the void, I suddenly laughed. My piercing laughter echoed through the dead silence. Gradually, I covered my face and slowly crouched down. Unworthy. Over 100 lives lost to save a venomous viper that bit back with fatal malice. I stood up abruptly, locking my gaze onto the ancient registry. A boundless fire of karmic retribution raged in my eyes. I, Chen Pagalu, defended this empire my entire life for such a ruthless, cold-blooded woman. I endured the biting frost of the desolate borders, repelling the barbarian hordes so she could live in luxury within the royal palace, only to be rewarded with a cup of poison at the end. How fitting that phrase. Generals bring peace, yet never live to see it. I took a deep breath, burying my immense rage into my bones, transforming it into freezing malice. In this next life, I desire nothing else. I want her entire bloodline dead. Complete extermination. Not even their dogs or chickens shall be spared. If the Shangnam royal clan dares stop me, I will slaughter all of Shangnam. I looked up at the glowing panel calculating my 4th life. Name? Chen Polu. Age? 83. Cause of death? Poisoned by the Empress Dowager. Evaluation. You have finally uncovered the truth. A 4-lifetime hunt. A century-old vendetta. To think the origin stemmed from the secret of a single woman. Is it not laughable? Is it not pathetic? What will you choose for your next life? Accumulated points. 3,000. Silver rank tier 3. What is your choice? Kill. My gaze swept across the noble bloodline. Unique, mystical heritage. Inherited power, aiming to topple the Empress. Defying the entire royal authority. The lone wolf moves too slowly. I need a monster to challenge royalty. 4 lifetimes of cultivation knowledge remain. Rebuilding strength is effortless. Bloodline, plus 1000. Insight, plus 1000. Talent, plus 1000. All in, maxing out points. Fifth life begins. Good luck, host. As consciousness faded, I spoke coldly. Guan Zixian, prepare your neck. Eyes open. Gold embroidered curtains. Rich incense lingers. I rise, inspecting my slender hands, surveying the room. Antique shelves. Masterpiece scrolls. Rare Western lambskin rugs. Two maidens kneel, offering tea immediately. Your Highness, you have awakened. Your Highness? Memories merge. My lips curl into a cold, mocking sneer. 12 years old. Named Ye Xuan, styled Mingji. Ye, the royal surname of Shangnan dynasty. My father commands 300,000 mercenaries. Ruler of the South. The hereditary Zenin prince. Dressed sharply, I storm the library archives. I must confirm the current timeline. Scouring royal records. My eyes darken instantly. General Chen Palu died 7 years ago. Records state Chen Palu succumbed suddenly. State funeral held with highest honors. Descendants brought to the capital under protection. 20,000 Yanmen guards were disbanded instantly. Surveillance. Orphans. Scattered subordinates. Guan Zixian's methods remain merciless. I flipped through the Ancestors' Chronicle, searching for the immortals I pursued for lifetimes. Only legendary propaganda remains. Divine turtles. Heavenly books. No practical clues exist. Deep in thought, a youth in brocade robes emerges from behind the shelves. Ninth brother, I have been searching for you. Eighth brother, have you forgotten today's events? Father inspects our martial and literary skills today. The Empress Dowager sent envoys to observe. We must leave now. A murderous intent flickered in the Empress Dowager's eyes. Instantly, she hit it perfectly. Facing her faction this early? Excellent. At the Eastern Training Grounds, Prince Zenon sat upon the majestic throne. The young princes sat, scratching their heads over the exam papers. The exam had 10 words. Discussing frontier strategy and military strengthening. I sat at the back. I dipped my brush and wrote without hesitation. In my past life, I was a frontier general. Executed by the central government. Who knows their weaknesses better than I? The frontier danger lies in the controlling armies. My words were sharp, like a surgeon's blade, revealing the truths of stripping power. On strengthening soldiers? No one understands warfare better than I, the undefeated general. When Elder Zheng, the prince's chief strategist, read my paper, his hands trembled uncontrollably. He knocked over his tea and rushed to present it to the prince. Your Highness, look at this. The prince read ravenously. He stood up, slamming the table. His eyes blazed. Deep strategy. Precise insights. Ninth son. Did you truly write this? The surrounding princes were utterly stunned. Then, the martial arts examination began. The outcome was a total, expected victory. I unleashed peerless spear techniques. Basic moves. Galloping and drawing bows. 10 arrows fired. All hit the center. As for the tactical sandtable exercise, I left the palace masters drenched in cold sweat. They surrendered on the spot. The prince gripped my shoulder, laughing toward the heavens. I regret never meeting the legendary General Chen who wrote these tactics. Heavens bestowed a divine child upon us. That night, the prince granted me forbidden techniques. Only the true bloodline may touch them. Days following, the royal mansion turned chaotic. With peerless aptitude, I required no secrets. My meridians hold vast, oceanic power. 1 month, third rate. 3 months, second rate. 1 year, peak. This terrifying speed shocked the reclusive ancestor. In the secluded courtyard, the silver-haired ancestor scrutinized my calm, sharp gaze. Unable to hide shock, he praised thrice. Facing the supreme ruler, I confessed confusion. Ancestor, was the founder truly an immortal? Stunned, he dismissed the servants and sighed. No immortal. The founder suffered until death. My heart sank. Is there no path? Suddenly, his tone shifted dramatically. He whispered, divine legends are mere deceptions. The founder sailed here from another realm. Those 3 scrolls? Likely ancient sea charts. My pupils constricted in cold shock. I understand now. This land is barren. Magic does not exist here. To transcend, I must find that route. Sail the ocean. Reclaim the path. Goal set. But a blood debt remains. The ancestor pulled out a golden scroll. The empress demands all heirs to court. My name sits upon the list. I sneered. Training is a front. Hostages. The empress has ruled 70 long years. The emperor is over 70 years old. Internal strife now burns the empire. She forces The old ancestor nodded, pulling out a golden scroll. An imperial decree. The emperor demands my presence. I glanced at the scroll. Everything became clear. The puppet emperor has no pieces left. He bets on a dying horse. He craves an alliance against the empress. My father demands neutrality. A dangerous, fence-sitting game. The old ancestor stared. What is your choice? Neutrality is a myth. Fence-sitters die first. I stood. My eyes burned with resolve. If they want me there, I will go. Plunging alone into this chaotic chess game. Face that wicked woman head on. Shake the heavens. Upset the entire world. He stared deeply. Boldness. Take your brother. Go. 7 days later. The royal carriage journeyed toward capital. Passing a jagged forest, I spoke from within. Forest! Commander Huo paused in shock. Ninth young master. Killing intent approaches. Bowstrings snapped. Chaos erupted instantly. Hundreds of assassins surged like starving wolves. Commander Huo roared. Locked in deadly combat. 3 peak experts charged directly at my carriage. Cold steel flashed. Wind howled in fury. I pushed the curtain aside. I stepped out. 3 fatal strikes. I didn't draw steel. I plucked 3 willow leaves. Innate power surged. I flicked the leaves forward. Flash! 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 Green streaks moved beyond human sight. The 3 experts froze. Throats burst open instantly. Blood sprayed. Their bodies hit the ground. The slaughter stopped. Total, suffocating silence. The assassins recoiled. They saw a ghost. All eyes locked onto me. A 12-year-old boy, plucking leaves and petals. Wiping out experts instantly. Arrogant brat. You seek death. A peak Hometian expert lurks in shadows. Eyes widen. Internal energy erupts violently. Screaming fury. He leaps to attack. My hand grips the blade's hilt. Forged in 40 years of corpses. Blood Lotus 7 kill technique. Piercing energy. A perfect, lethal strike. Severed! His head flies high. The headless corpse collapses forward. Blood flicked away. Blade sheathed. I continue forward. Guards gulp. Fear and awe overwhelm them. News travels faster than men. My reputation precedes me. Prince Yeshuan. Triple leaf kill. Peerless power. What kind of monster is this? Tea houses whisper my name. Some praise him as the royal prodigy. Others call him the genius of Shangnan. But some remain unconvinced. Have you forgotten the Quan family myths? Which Quan family? The Empress's own bloodline. The Quan family has a monstrous talent. Only 13. Surely Yeshuan's equal. Truth or fiction? It is absolute truth. What is that girl's name? Quan Shanyu. That is the one. Quan Shanyu. Who is the superior fighter? No one can say. They will clash, soon enough, outside the capital walls. I gaze upon the glowing ramparts. I sent word. Ye Xuan enters the city tomorrow. The capital stirs. The true dragon has arrived. 8th brother snores in his tent. I don my dark robes. Like a drop of ink, vanishing into darkness. On these 30-foot walls, I died poisoned. The Empress Dowager granted my death. Returned from death, I know these halls. Blindfolded, I could map this palace. Evading the elite guards, I reached the palace. I stood outside the Emperor's chambers. Your Majesty, lower your voice. Walls have ears. The old eunuch trembled. Walls have ears. As the Emperor, why face such rebuke? Why suffer under the court officials? A teacup shattered. His voice carried despair. Utter helplessness. Chen Palu, a rare military genius. He was meant to suppress her, yet one poisoned cup killed him. What worth remains in this throne? The eunuch retreated. Only the Emperor remained. His labored breathing filled the hall. I cracked the window. I slipped inside. I demanded to be alone. The Emperor turned away. He scolded me. I did not answer. He spun around. Moonlight revealed my figure. Terrified. He almost called for guards. I removed my veil. I bowed deeply. Ye Xuan, Prince of Zenon, greets Majesty. The Emperor froze. Ye Xuan? Your arrival was tomorrow. Then, pure manic joy. He rushed forward. Excellent. You are the Ye family's pride. A secret visit? Will the prince revolt? I watched this puppet emperor. My heart remained cold as stone. Majesty. I must visit the Empress first. His smile shattered. He felt icy dread. I offered no explanation. Just one sentence. I know my limits. I leaped out. I vanished into the night. He stood frozen. His eyes pierced darkness. Your depth mirrors the late General Chen. Pray. The next day, the southern gate opened wide. I rode a towering stallion, leading 100 elite warriors into the capital. Crowds packed the streets. They marveled at the peerless aura of this 13-year-old youth. My expression remained cold. I rode straight toward the Empress Dowager's private palace. The entire imperial court erupted in chaos. Ignoring the emperor to visit the Empress Dowager first? A clear declaration of loyalty. The Empress Dowager was overjoyed at the news. She donned her finest ceremonial robes. She sat upon the phoenix throne. The Zenon prince commands 300,000 elite troops. If he aligns with the throne, opposition is impossible. Your servant, Ye Xuan, greets the Empress Dowager. I knelt in the hall, head bowed, teeth clenched. I buried a killing intent deep within my soul. 4 lifetimes of vengeance. Over 100 lives lost. All due to this arrogant woman, a good child. You may rise. The Empress Dowager smiled kindly. She studied me with sharp eyes. Watching this calm, handsome youth, she felt an inexplicable warmth and longing. Who does he resemble? Suddenly, she remembered a boy from the Tran family village decades ago. He once looked at her with adoration. He would have died for her. I have heard of your deeds. Exceptional talent. The Empress Dowager was pleased. The capital has everything. Just ask. I thank the Empress Dowager. I bowed deeply. I visited her daily for formalities. I strictly avoided the emperor. She felt secure. She saw me as a submissive pawn. She never knew. I washed my hands with strong alcohol after leaving her sight. Her touch was filthy. Half a month later, she held a grand banquet, claiming to strengthen familial bonds. Truly, a display of absolute imperial power. At the banquet, I saw Wang Teng, the Duke of Dingguo, the warrior champion I crushed in one strike. My former comrade in arms, now a puppet serving the Empress Dowager's agenda. The hall fell silent. A girl in white entered. Her eyes held cold, arrogant defiance. The Quan family's genius, Quan Shanyue. My gaze locked onto her face. My pupils constricted. Far too similar. A chill gripped my soul. Quan Shanyue bore the Empress Dowager's youthful likeness. Her face unearthed deep, blood-stained memories. The Empress smiled, grasping her hand. You heir, what think you of Ye Xuan? Quan Shanyue glanced coldly. Fame outweighs the person. The Empress rose, declaring loudly. I decree. Shanyue shall wed Ye Xuan, a royal genius and noble genius. Truly, a fated union. The hall erupted. My expression shifted. My mind raced wildly. If I accept, how could I face this enemy daily? How could I destroy her clan later? A refusal invites suspicion. All efforts would perish. At this critical, life-altering moment, Quan Shanyu spoke coldly. Empress, I never marry the talentless. If Ye Xuan defeats me, I shall offer no complaints. If he fails, this marriage ends. I exhaled, relieved. Help arrived just in time. We stepped into the open courtyard. Moonlight illuminated her. Her sword aura surged. Deadly. I was shocked. Her foundation surpassed all my peers. I must lose. Effortlessly. Perfectly. After 50 strikes, I suppressed my chi. I exposed a flaw. Visible only to elites. Bam! She struck my shoulder. I retreated, bowing low. Your martial arts excel. I concede. The crowd cheered her victory. She frowned. That night, she barred my door. Cold gaze. You yielded. That flaw was deliberate. You jest. I lied. Show your full strength next time. She grit her teeth and departed. Since then, she became my shadow, constantly challenging me to duels. I ignored the jealous, arrogant, lesser noble youths. A single strike shattered their spirits. Beyond the bloodshed, my cultivation was rapidly evolving. My primordial energy flows like a sovereign descendant. It harmonizes the conflicting fires within my veins. Watching these three energies merge is pure ecstasy. Once finished, the Xiantian realm is easily mine. 3 years vanished. I reached 16 years old. The Empress Dowager founded the Heavenly Library Pavilion. The Emperor's personal guard remained completely deserted. The entire royal court bowed to her whims. The Empress awaited one chance to depose him. The pavilion's name implies a total regime change. Someone nearly poisoned the Emperor to death. I reached Xiantian Peak and stopped her. Wait. A sudden death triggers chaos. Patience is required. Confine the Emperor within the Western Gardens instead. Purge the loyalists. Execute every single traitor. Her eyes gleamed. How shall we purge them? I whispered, a cold, lethal strategy. She presented a golden cage holding a rat. She smiled at the puppet emperor above. My emperor. Enjoy this nourishing, rare duck. The emperor turned pale, trembling in fear. Empress. That is clearly a rat. She glared at the court, voice freezing. My ministers. Is this a rat or duck? Absolute silence. Death gripped the throne room. Her lead crony stepped forward with malice. Empress, that is a legendary, ancient duck. 80% of officials knelt. An ancient duck. The rest broke into cold, terrified sweats. Only a black and white rat. Truly absolute chaos. The Empress Dowager smiled. Truly bone-chilling terror. After court, she commanded me. I bowed in obedience. Within 3 days, the minister's estate burned. Total annihilation. The honest scholar was ambushed. Not even bones remained. The righteous officials fell. All suffered tragic deaths. I presented the bloodstained token. She eyed her perfect blade. The stage is set. We need a puppet heir. She issued a mandate. Find me a suitable candidate. I left the capital. Someone followed behind me. Unsurprisingly, it was Quan Shanyu. Her robes drifted elegantly. 30 miles from the capital, killing intent surged. 50 assassins waited. High-level experts gathered. I prepared to strike. Quan Shanyu moved like lightning. Fear not, I protect you. I could not help laughing. She saw a weak child. I stopped holding back. 3 energies roared inside. Power surged violently. I struck once. The force was overwhelming. 3 masters died. Blood showered the earth. She stared in shock. I toyed with death. We searched the bodies. The evidence pointed one way. My own brother? Ye Guang. What is your plan? Quan Shanyu asked. He is my brother. What can I do? I smiled with hidden intent. That night, she sent word back. The Empress Dowager read the report. She sneered endlessly. As the manor turns, Ye Xuan clings to her. The trap is set. Everything went as planned. 2 years passed. I found the perfect prey, a fallen royal, weaving mats for survival. 17. Frail and spineless, named Ye Xuande. I taught him the rituals. Escort him back to the capital. The Empress Dowager rejoiced. She named him Prince of Zhongshan. He wept, bowing in theatrical gratitude. The final piece of her power game fell into place. My own schemes began to bear their fangs. Using the search as a pretext, I traveled to the 7 Killings demonic sect alone. The former sect master's decree was clear. The bearer of the profound demonic manual is master. I charged the Elder Council alone. My profound demonic chi erupted. 3 massive auras locked onto me. No one below Xiantian dares oppose me. I crushed the arrogant elders with absolute force. Under my shadow manipulation and the Prince of Zhenan's financial backing, the demonic sect was reborn. Within a year, 10,000 disciples gathered. They became a secret army, hovering over the imperial court. At 19, I broke through the great Hodatian realm. To my astonishment, Guanshan Yue relied on supreme talent and somehow managed to keep pace with my cultivation. We fought side by side, dueling across every league. Her eyes shifted from rivalry to deep, inseparable devotion. But it was far too late. With my plans set, I visited Yanmen Pass. Returning to the old garrison, the border troops had long been disbanded. I walked the familiar path to Li Longcheng's grave. The simple tombstone remained perpetually adorned with incense. I poured a cup of strong wine. General, I have come to visit. I froze in sudden, chilling shock. Beside Li Longcheng's tomb stood another, identical stone monument, the tomb of Flying General Chen Falu. My body was buried in the capital. My heart trembled violently. This was a cenotaph. The border soldiers built it for me. I approached slowly. Fresh offerings lay before the slab, alongside crude wooden toys dropped by children. From afar, children's voices sang clear, ancient border songs. These were memories of the northern people. They fear no tyranny. I looked at the deep blue sky. The sun was brilliant, the wind pure. General, you were right all along. A hunched figure staggered toward Li Longcheng's grave. It was an elder with hair as white as frost. He walked with a limp, carrying a basket of incense and paper money. One glance was enough. I stood paralyzed. I recognized that face immediately. It was Commander Chu, the former leader of the Yanling Guards, the man who taught me swordplay. He became Li Longcheng's deputy, loyal until the end. A flickering candle in the wind, aged 100. Trembling, the old man sets down his basket. General, old Chu has come to visit you. He burns incense, his voice choking with emotion. Another year passes beyond the Tai Bin Pass. Remember that boy, the Chen lad? He became a flying general. Surpassed even you. Such a pity. Truly tragic. Li Longcheng. Chen Palu. I remember you. I remember our brothers. The deep injustices suffered. Old Chu is useless. Utterly pathetic. I stand in the wind, listening silently. My heart, a chaotic storm. Slowly, I approach. Old sir, are you Deputy General Chu of Yanmen? His cloudy, tear-filled eyes lock onto mine. You are. I stay silent. I draw 2 tokens, 1 golden emblem. The Prince of Zenon, 1 wooden badge. The Ling Wei Guard, my own handiwork. His hands tremble violently. He stares, eyes unblinking, so alike. I crouch down, whispering into the silence. Commander Chu, a chance to seek justice. To right this inverted world. Are you willing? He freezes. He looks into my burning eyes of vengeance. His soldier's spirit awakens. He leaves Yanmen behind. I travel to the ruins of the Chen family village. The mud walls remain, decaying and ancient. The roof has collapsed. Yet the path is spotless. Not a speck of dust touches the stove. I inquire locally. An old woman whispers secrets. A handsome youth appeared, the spitting image of General Chen Palu. He descended from the heavens upon a white crane. He lingered within for hours, then vanished. The village whispers. General Chen has attained immortality. A boy riding a crane. Recalling my 4th life, Mother spoke of immortals. She dreamt of cranes carrying Tron Bin An away. We thought her mad. Bin An was alive. I scoured the battlefield. No corpse was found. Immortals truly took him away. I stared at the clouds. My eyes burned with madness. The world of cultivation is real. Past goodbyes promise a future reunion. Wait for me, brother. I become a cog in the machine. 4 years passed. I am 20. My cultivation reached the Haojation peak. 3 mystical energies merged within my veins. I am one step from the legendary Xiantian. I became the empire's most terrifying corrupt official. I manipulated the Empress Dowager and the Emperor. I drained the wealthy noble families dry. The treasury tripled. I embezzled half the wealth. My secret remains hidden. Gold fueled the 7-killed demon sect. It became a 15,000-man monster. The rest went to the border gates. Commander Chu protected the common folk. He built an army of 50,000 veterans. Everything is ready. I ignite the world's ruin. Year 91. Drought struck the north. Floods drowned the south. The Empress Dowager claimed divine disapproval. I crushed the Golden Guard's assassination attempt. I deposed the emperor, installing Ye Xuande, a straw sandal vendor. A useless puppet. The Empress Dowager thought the realm was hers. The night before the coronation ceremony, a mysterious fire engulfed the palace. The emperor's chambers burned. The seal vanished. Months later, a shockwave rocked the capital. The dead emperor survived the inferno. He appeared in the south. The seal in hand, he issued a declaration of war. The empress usurped the throne. I returned to purge the heavens. This sealed imperial decree is legally flawless. The entire world erupted in chaos instantly. As expected, the Prince of Nan suddenly passed away. My eldest brother, Ye Guang, seized the throne. He commands 300,000 troops, raising a rebellion under the deposed emperor's name. Outside Yanmen Pass, 5,000 border soldiers rose. They demanded justice for the fallen flying general. They breached 3 gates in one day. Their momentum was truly unstoppable. The 7-kill cult unleashed 20,000 fanatics. They are currently ravaging the Shu district. Smoke rose everywhere. The entire empire rebelled. Within the Golden Throne Hall, the Empress Dowager sat. She received urgent reports like falling snowflakes. Her imperial tactics were truly terrifying. She mobilized the Forbidden Guards. She conscripted all able-bodied men. She severed enemy supply lines. She sowed discord among rebels. Her decrees were absolute. She halted every advancing warlord. Finally, she revealed her ultimate trump card. The 300,000-strong righteous saint army, led by her own clan members. The elite of the elite. They will pacify the entire realm. I have waited for this moment. I stepped forward and knelt. Empress, my brother Ye Guang killed our father. His crimes are unforgivable. I request to lead the army. I shall decapitate the traitor myself. The Empress Dowager stared into my eyes. Then, she smiled faintly. Yi Xuan, you are 24 this year. It is time to marry. Shan Yu's feelings for you are clear. Everyone can see it. Marry Shan Yu. Become a member of the Quan clan. I will grant you the righteous saint army. The court will not dare defy you. This was a cold political transaction. She used Quan Shan Yu to chain me. I closed my eyes. I suppressed the raging, killing intent within my heart. I opened my eyes in total submission. I thanked the Empress for her grace. The wedding was blindingly extravagant. It masked the stench of war. Red silk stretched for 10 miles. The Empress personally presided over the ceremony. She watched us, her eyes slightly wet. She used this wedding to relive a lost dream. After the feast, she summoned me. She revealed a secret that defies mortal comprehension. Ye Xuan, my true ambitions transcend this mortal realm. Once peace is restored, I will grant you the throne. I am leaving for a greater world. Prove your loyalty. Once I am established there, I will bring you and Shan Yu. My breath hitched. A world beyond the mortal plane? The Empress has unlocked the path to immortality. My killing intent evolved. It is no longer just for vengeance. It is for the path of cultivation. I am willing to sacrifice everything for the Empress. The wedding night arrives. Fragrance fills the room. Quan San Gayet wears the phoenix crown. She is breathtaking. Her beauty is truly soul-shaking. She removes her veil alone. Her eyes show deep, tender longing. I glance at her coldly. I walk out the door. Get some rest. Ye Xuan. Quan San Gayet's voice trembles. She sounds tiny. Still refuse me? Quan San Gayet. I have never begged anyone. I beg you now. Please, just look at me. I pause. The red candles flicker behind me. She is the enemy's daughter. Contact means weakness. My blade must stay sharp. After a long silence, I speak coldly. Forgive me. The door clicks shut. I hear her silent, bitter weeping. 3 days later, I become the Great Marshal. I command 300,000 soldiers. In 2 weeks, I position my hidden assassins. 7 kill sect agents infiltrate the army's heart. The Quan clan is oblivious. They trust their perfect son-in-law. She does not see me off. She leaves a golden robe and a note. Wear this. Give me a few months. I will reach the Xiantian realm. I will clear your path. I will conquer this world for you. I pocket the note. I mount my horse. One final look at the capital. I ride forward. I show them true military genius. First battle. Ambush the vanguard. 10,000 heads fall. Second battle. Night raid. Scorched supplies everywhere. Third battle. Lure the enemy. Wipe out their entire army. Peerless victory. Flawless strategy. Word reaches the capital. The Empress is ecstatic. On the front lines, the war begins. 3. Venerated, like a living god. My control exceeds the Empress Dowager. The time to strike is now. That day, I and Wang Teng, the Grand Marshal, plotted in secret. We unfolded the vast military map, our eyes locked. Wang Teng pointed to a lethal canyon. The rebel forces gathered in that region. Destroy them all at once. Total peace restored. I nodded. I have a plan. Wang Teng stared. My finger struck the map. Eyes sharp as steel. Lead 700,000 elites. Attack the center. Defend the camp. Lure their main force. Wang Teng frowned. Who lands the killing blow? I pointed at myself. I lead 300,000 soldiers. Flank their rear. Pincer attack. Total annihilation. Wang Teng pondered. His eyes gleamed brightly. Agreed. Yet Wang Teng followed my strategy. Rapid advancement. Rebels utterly crushed. Everything went exactly as calculated. Divine foresight. A loyal, brilliant strategist. Wang Teng hesitated no more. 700,000 troops advanced. Filled with arrogance. Victory seemed certain. Blinded by success. Overextended lines. Total disaster looming. He never noticed Ye Guang's 300,000 elites, remnants of the fallen emperor encircling them. The final battle erupted. Millions fought for 3 days. Rivers flowed red. Mountains of corpses. Wang Teng pushed relentlessly forward. Rebels held firm. Both sides nearing collapse. The 4th day dawns. Victory depends on reinforcements. Wang Teng stood upon the high ridge, gazing toward the rear. He awaited the Right Saint army under my command. With their timely arrival, victory was certain. The rebel forces would surely collapse entirely. Yet beneath the rising dust, a black flag emerged. The killing demon sect had arrived. 20,000 black-clad cultists surged like a dark tide. Wang Teng's escape route was severed. Wang Teng felt trapped in ice. His eyes widened in horror. Where is Ye Xuan? Where is the Right Saint army? Silence met his frantic demand. Then, a report brought total despair. The supply lines were burned to ash. 700,000 men faced starvation. Morale shattered in an instant. The realization finally struck Wang Teng. A traitor lurks within the highest command. He saw my calm face in his mind. He recalled the trap I had laid. Ye Xuan! He ground his teeth, screaming for a desperate breakthrough. He broke the encirclement with 3,000 battered survivors. Ahead lay the Sishui ferry. Cross the water to regroup. Restore the shattered army's strength. Yet, a silent force blocked the path. 3,000 armored spearmen stood like a forest. The Yanmen border guard. The white-haired commander sat upon his steed. It was General Chu. Wang Teng reined in his horse. Old General, do you also commit treason? A cold smile creased the old man's face. I serve the throne. Why call this treason? I am here to collect a blood debt. He charged forward, spear leveled at Wang Teng's throat. Years ago, my liege led 3,000 elites. They severed the barbarian king's head. You stole their glory for your own gain. The 2 generations of flying generals deserved better. You slandered them, claiming they defied the throne. With a cup of poisoned wine, you slaughtered my brothers. My 10,000 Yanmen soldiers were disbanded. They starved and froze in the wild. Commander Chu was consumed by pure rage. Wang Teng, you built your rank on corpses. Pay with your life now. You old fool. Let us trade lives. Wang Teng drew his blade. 2 masters collided with lethal force. Chu was ancient. His vitality was fading. Wang Teng should have easily dominated. Today, he sought death. No defense. No evasion. Pure trade of lives. 30 strikes. 50 strikes. 100 strikes. Chu suffered deep, bone-severing wounds. Blood stained his armor crimson. His spear grew increasingly savage. The light in his eyes flared brighter. Wang Teng faltered. Chu's spear pierced his throat. Wang Teng clutched his bleeding neck. Eyes bulged in shock. He died by an old man's hand. Chu collapsed. He leaned on his spear, gasping for air. He smiled at his troops. Brothers, the debt is settled. He waved away his men. He gazed toward the frozen north, the direction of Yanmen Pass. I go now. To join the flying generals. The old hero closed his eyes. He departed with a smile. 300 miles away, Duanhun Valley turned into a slaughterhouse. The pass was sealed. Thousands of arrows rained down. A lethal ambush. The deputy screamed. A palm strike shattered him into gore. I stood on horseback. My gaze was icy cold. I am the demon. No guards are needed. I roared at the sky. 3 powers merged within my core. The pressure of a half-step Great Xiantian erupted. A one-sided slaughter lasted for hours. To sever future threats, I buried every survivor alive. 300,000 troops. The Guan clan's pride. Everything lay buried in this abyss. Only 2 women remain of the Guan family. I stepped over. He gazed up at the blood-red sunset. Coldly, he spoke. We marched to the capital. Midnight, at the Zhenan king's great camp. I entered the command tent. Inside sat Ye Zhang, the Lisan family patriarch, dead. Beside him, Elder Ye Qingtian. The fake death was merely a ruse, a ploy to deceive the Empress Dowager. Father and grandfather watched my ruthless schemes. They saw my power to shift the heavens. Your methods are truly supreme. The world is yours. I come to say goodbye. Ye Qingtian frowned. Victory is near. Where will you go? To the capital. I paused for a moment. The throne has never been my desire. Every action was for revenge alone, ending 5 lifetimes of bitter enmity. No further words. I took a step back. I knelt 3 times. Farewell, father. Farewell, grandfather. I turned and left. Moonlight fell, cold as winter water. I donned the mask. The 7 kills sect leader. 3 days later, the capital became hell. Outside, 100,000 cultists held torches. Inside, the Empress had only dying soldiers. I watched from the cliff. Cold and silent. Rival kings fought over the imperial seal. They are useless now. None of that matters anymore. On the walls, the Empress stood firm. She struck the drums herself. Stones fell. Boiling oil rained down. The defense held. A 3-day siege. Perfectly fortified walls. I admired her resolve. A rare, formidable woman. Without me, she would be truly invincible. Increase the pressure. Break the walls. I commanded the vice-sect leader. Sect leader. What is your plan? My gaze fixated on the deep imperial palace. I shall plunder my prize. Like a phantom, I vaulted the walls, plunging into the forbidden grounds. If the Empress senses defeat, she will surely destroy the ancestors' steel. I must claim it first, bypassing every palace barrier. As I descended into a desolate courtyard, I crossed the threshold and sensed 3 Xiantian masters descending from above. The Empress's final trump card. Trespassers die. No words needed. My internal energy surged like a raging tide. 1 palm strike shattered the lead guard's heart. A single fist snapped 2 weapons simultaneously. My finger pierced the 3rd guard's skull. 2 moves. 2 dead. 1 crippled. Ignoring the corpses, I strode forward and shoved the heavy stone doors open. The secret chamber was vast. Yet, no Steagle appeared. Before me lay a mountain-sized turtle, draped in deathly silence. 4 iron chains, etched with gray runes, pinned its shell to the stone pillars. My pupils constricted in shock. The divine turtle brought the scriptures. The legend is true. I inspected the shell, uncovering a map of the Shangnan kingdom. Our land was merely a tiny, remote island on the edge. The map's center marked vast continents, labeled as Immortal Spirit Mountains. This is the cultivation world. A wave of terror struck me. I committed the map to memory. Remembering every detail, I felt a strange pity for the lifeless beast, imprisoned for millennia, enduring endless agony. Since I accept your legacy, I shall grant you freedom. I focused my energy into a blade. With 1 strike, the chains shattered. Clang! As the chains broke, disaster struck. A surge of mystical fortune erupted, piercing the 9 heavens. Atop the wall, the Empress's heart seized. She vomited blood. Her national destiny fractured. Abandoning her banner, she sprinted toward the palace. Within the chamber, the fallen turtle stirred. Its eyes opened, deep as the abyss. An apocalyptic pressure crushed the world down. The crushing pressure makes my bones creak. I exert all my true energy to endure. A descendant of Ye Chongtian? The giant turtle's voice echoes through the ages. That is correct. I grit my teeth and reply. Its killing intent fades into deep regret. Do you know what you have done? Those chains held the kingdom's vital destiny. I used that energy to stay alive. I sealed it, to protect your lineage. You severed the chains, destroying your heritage. I stand frozen in utter shock. The giant turtle sighs with heavy resignation. It reveals the truth of this realm. This world is merely a spiritual prison. Your ancestor, Ye Chongtian, came here long ago. He left 3 manuals to seek ascension. The manuals are keys. I am transport. I only acknowledge 2.5 successors. Ye Qingcheng, born with peerless talent, ascended early, 2 centuries ago. Empress Guan Zixian. She hungered for the imperial throne. She used national destiny to seek immortality. The half-successor, the turtle, stares at me. That is you. Despite having no talent, you forced those 3 manuals to merge. You walked the path of martial cultivation. Yet, you are only halfway there. Outside, a storm of killing intent erupts. The Empress storms in, blade vibrating violently. She sees me. I slowly removed my mask, revealing the face of Ye Xuan. Why? The Empress Dowager trembled, her voice screaming like a demon. Who raised you like a son and gifted you military command? Why would you destroy 2 centuries of my life's work? I stared calmly. Moonlight illuminated my cold, piercing eyes. Empress Dowager, have you ever betrayed someone you loved? She stood frozen. I slowly unsheathed my long blade. 2 centuries ago, you betrayed a youth just like me. The Empress Dowager's pupils shook violently. Staring at my face, a figure buried for 200 years rushed back into her fractured memory. She pointed at me, retreating in frantic terror. You are that youth. Only one of us leaves alive. I finished speaking. Blade pointed forward. The mortal duel of 2 experts erupted instantly. 1. A half-step immortal with 2 centuries of cultivation. 1. Myself, wielding 3 celestial scrolls through the palace grounds. True energy surged. The palace walls collapsed into ruin. After 300 blows, I faltered. Her foundation was simply monstrous. A cruel light flickered. I burned my lifespan to force a fusion. 6 parts. 8 parts. I felt my hair turning. Under the violent internal rebellion, it bleached white like bone. Empress Dowager, taste my final strike. My white hair fluttered wildly. Palms pressed together. I compressed my energy into a raging dragon. Energy exploded. She shrieked, exhausting 3 centuries of power to counter. The collision shattered the very foundations of the palace. Her defensive aura ripped apart instantly. Her body flew away like a discarded rag. She smashed through 3 layers of palace walls. Amidst the rubble, she vomited blood. Her life force flickered out. I walked forward. Looking down from above, she felt no fear. She only stared at me. A young face. A head of snow-white hair. In her panic, she recalled the mountain boy. His gaze was pure and clear. Did you harvest medicine for her back then? She closed her eyes. A tear fell. A miserable, relieved smile touched her lips. So, it was you. She spread her arms wide. Defenses abandoned. Come now. End this grudge. Deliver the blow. As the Empress fell, 2 centuries of gathered national fortune dissipated into the void. I returned to the chamber. I must reach the origin continent. The giant turtle shook its head. You possess only 80% of true essence. Insufficient. I will wait 10 years. Master the final portion. Achieve Tao through martial arts. Then, I crossed the sea. I looked at my withered hands. I nodded slowly. 10 years vanished. The world's fate was sealed. The puppet emperor returned to weaving sandals. Ye Xuande, backed by the 7 Kills cult and Yanmen armies, swept across the lands. He ascended to the supreme throne. They named me Grand National Preceptor. I never attended court. I secluded myself on a lonely snow peak, meditating for a decade to breach the final gate. That day, I opened my eyes. I sighed deeply. Despite all my calculations, that final 10% remained an unreachable abyss. My lifespan and potential were drained dry by these 10 hollow years. I am now like a withered tree, a dying old man. Perhaps this is fate, I whispered to my heart. Just then, a faint sound cut through the blizzard. I sensed a sharp, cold sword aura. It merged with the frozen wind. In a flash, a figure in white stood atop the mountain. Guan Shanyu. 10 years apart. She has changed. The arrogant, headstrong girl is gone, replaced by a Dabio aura born from absolute suffering. Her torment brought her to the threshold of the post-heaven Tao. I watched her. A profound bitterness flooded my soul. You have come? Guan Shanyue drew her blade. Cold light danced in the snow. Her voice was brittle ice. I know everything from 10 years ago. My blood uncles, my kin, my brothers were buried alive in soul-severing valley. Even our empress, she died by your hand. She trembled amidst the snow. Her composure fractured. I opened my mouth. Silence reigned supreme. Guan Shanyue looked up. Grief filled her eyes. Do you know how I lived these years? Her blade pierced my chest. Agony beyond measure. My mission is simple. End you. End this pain. 2 peak masters collided. The mountain trembled. Her strikes dripped with 10 years of sorrow. I watched her cold blade descend. I remembered our first duel, a weakness in her 10th pulse. I recalled her radiance. 3 years of pursuit, endless defeats. Unyielding spirit. She nearly died saving me here. Our wedding night? She blushed in the tent. May I look at you? I did not move. I held no weapon. I closed my eyes. I accepted fate. The blade pierced me. No resistance offered. Her hand shook. Tears fell like rain. Why did you not dodge? I smiled. No resentment remained. Past debts paid. Karma is now severed. Blood blossomed upon her white robes. Crimson winter roses. Revenge achieved. Yet, no joy remained. Only a hollow, bone-chilling void. Her heart felt carved out, a gaping wound. A bitter, howling wind. The word little girl. A mournful whisper echoed out. A colossal divine turtle hid within palaces. It suddenly emerged at the cliff's edge. It appeared before my fading, dimming vision. Guan Shunyue wept. You are the deity. The turtle stared, its eyes complex, startled. You absorbed the remnants of imperial fortune. You entered the Dao through extreme agony. You shattered the bridge connecting the heavens. You forged a peerless acquired spirit root. It hesitated. You are worthy. Follow me. In the void, I forced my eyes open. A massive, ancient book floated before me. Pages turned themselves without a single breeze. Fifth life summary. Name: Ye Xuan. Age: 35. Cause: executed by his own wife. Grudges erased. Cultivation: peak Great Xiantian realm. 3 streams of essence merged as one. Born royalty. A status of crown prince. At 13, he mocked the entire court. He manipulated the puppet emperor with ease. He incited chaos and slaughtered the Gudians. He buried 20,000 soldiers alive. Ruthless. 5 lifetimes of vengeance finally reached end. He hid all his great, bloody achievements. Final rank: 5-star silver achievement level. 5,000 points earned. Villainous minister status. A slaughtering god. The architect of chaos. You spent 5 lifetimes seeking cold revenge. Every debt was paid in fresh blood. What do you desire for next life? I will conquer this path of immortality. My gaze burned like an eternal flame. I died trapped at the final essence stage. I never reached the spiritual realm. With higher insight, I would transcend mortality, harnessing martial strength to traverse the Tao. I grit my teeth. I must gamble everything on comprehension. Royal bloodline is useless. All remaining points into comprehension. Comprehension plus 4,000. Talent plus 1,000. Initiate reincarnation. The 6th life is beginning. My consciousness flows into the great vortex. Nam Xiu State. A vassal of Thuong Nam. The southern border is mountainous, so-filled, and savage. This land rejects royal authority. It respects strength. Yet, one city stands outside all law. Who leads White Cloud City? The world has forgotten his name. Only his title remains. 50 years ago, 1,000 cavalrymen arrived. They encountered me while passing a village. 18 years old. White robes. I blocked their path. 1 man, 1 sword, 1,000 dead. Their commander? Decapitated instantly. I built a fortress. White Cloud City. No laws apply. Royal power? Utterly meaningless. 50 years undefeated. I am the martial legend of Nam Xiu. Today, the city gates are crowded. Atop the wall, an elder stands proud. Majestic presence. Eyes like jagged lightning. His aura merges with the heavens. Song Thien Nam. A grandmaster from Thuong Nam. He has come to challenge me. Song Thien Nam waited for 2 hours. Not a soul came to greet him. Rage simmered. He maintained his composure. Sunset approached. As the sun dipped low, I appeared upon the walls. No movement. Just presence. I stood like an eternal statue. His pupils dilated. He could not track my movement. Song Thien Nam unsheathed his blade. Show me your legend. I did not draw. 1 glance. He turned ghost white. I unleashed no killing intent. No chi. No pressure. I stared down like a god, watching a tiny speck. Song Tianan saw no rivalry. He saw an endless abyss. He realized. Attack me? He would become mere dust. Pride shattered instantly. Song Tianan collapsed to his knees. Thud. I have lost. The world-renowned grandmaster knelt before me. He offered his precious sword, trembling violently. The crowd fell deathly silent. Then, a roar erupted into the heavens. I withdrew my gaze coldly. I turned, vanishing into the twilight, back to the chamber. Closing the heavy door. Far from the world's noise, I sipped cold tea. My spirit felt refreshed. In this life, I am Dugu Cheng, with 4,000 points of comprehension, combined with 6 lifetimes of experience. And 60 years of seclusion. I finally succeeded. 3 energies. Profound heaven. Profound demon. Profound yellow. Merged into one path. Blade, spear, sword. All arts melted down, creating a technique never seen. The Xuanwu true art. Technique complete. I shattered the peak of martial arts. I am now the supreme Xiantian Grandmaster City Lord. Masters, your grand rewards have arrived. A servant called. My eyes flashed golden. Soon the 2 elders entered, trembling. Lutong, master of the southern ships. Mo Gi, heir to ancient mechanical arts. Seeing me pour their tea, they bowed in terror. City Lord. Lutong gathered his courage and asked, building a ship? I answered with absolute composure. A ship to cross the endless sea. 2 master craftsmen exchanged weary glances. Masters, Storms and monsters devour ships. I spread a massive blueprint across the desk. They leaned in, gasping in total shock. Bronze-plated hulls and reinforced steel ribs. Paddle wheels engaged. Heavy propellers spinning. Master, how does it move without sails? Boiling water. Steam pressure drives the mighty paddle wheels. This is called a steam engine. Utter disbelief. What god crafted this madness? Their master craftsman spirits ignited with fervor. With this vessel, no horizon is unreachable. I smiled. Will you serve this vision? We serve unto our very deaths. The Holy Land's destiny changed that day. No sword flashes. Only thunderous steel hammers. I invested my entire life's accumulated wealth. Looted bandits. Issued bounties across the world. Fools called me mad for chasing iron. 3 things are needed for the immortal realm. Cultivation is qualification. Ancient maps define the path. I must craft the vessel myself. 10 years of failure. Countless explosions. A colossal bronze ironclad rested in port. No spirit arrays. Pure, mortal, pinnacle genius. I touched the hull. You are Po Ji. Thousands gathered at Baiyun City. I entrusted the Xuanwu manual to Lu Tong. Leave this path for the restless souls. These items shall serve as mere keepsakes. I step onto the deck, never looking back. Boom, boom, boom. Black smoke billows from the heavy chimney. The iron wheel churns the sea violently. The vessel roars, vanishing into the deep. The ocean journey was far more desolate. 80 million miles away, pirates plagued the early years. One palm strike. Their ship shattered instantly. Eventually, not even a bird dared approach. This transcendent route filters the weak-willed soul. The true enemy was not beasts. It was solitude. 117 years. An eternity adrift. Not a single soul did I encounter. Only the rhythmic gears and crashing waves. I spoke to myself to stay sane. Year 30. The catch was foul. My poems were poor. My voice grew strange. Year 57. A barren, desolate rocky island. First step on land in 57 years. Year 83. Loneliness consumed every written thought. The morning of the 100th year arrived. The mirror-like sea erupted with silver life. A school of fish danced through sunlight. I stared, then laughed with manic intensity. They leap not for air, but madness. 100 years adrift. No turning back. Crack! The invisible barrier within finally shattered. A century of isolation perfected my spirit. I felt the breath of the wind. I felt the weight of the sun. Primeval energy rushed into my very core. Through absolute solitude I forged my spirit root. This exquisite silence is true power. I tore my mournful diary to shreds. Papers swirled like white birds near the stern. I no longer need to speak to myself. 60 more years passed. I am 260. I found them. They are all dead. One withered skeleton sat atop a wine boat. A suicide note remained. A life wandering. I felt nothing but regretful sorrow. Some bound themselves. Some pierced their own chests. The shore remains distant. Heroes perish seeking truth, caressing my thinning, silver hair. I wonder if I can survive 80 more. Will I reach the finish line? I smile. To hear truth, one dies content. Year 280. The ocean water warms. Strange scents rise. Glowing coral reefs emerge. My heart pounds violently. The elder turtle spoke. The Death Sea ends. On my 300th birthday, I stand tall. Mountains touch the sky. Rainbow waterfalls cascade. Jioran Island. My first step toward transcendence. Past the reef. The vision clears. I stare at the horizon. Ships of wonder fill the sea. Giant gourds. Spiritual vessels radiating power. Flying swords. Splendid robes crossing skies. Thousands of seekers gather here. Their spiritual pressure is truly vast. No fear. Only fire. I roar at the heavens. The path is not lonely. My ship bellows smoke. The rusted engine thunders. All eyes watch. Crossing the endless sea alone? Pure strength. Your boat is impressive. A scholar, he wielded a brush like an oar, exuding untethered grace. His name is Meng Zhang, a man of overwhelming righteous aura, from reading countless scrolls. Like myself, he seeks the ultimate truth, despite lacking innate spiritual roots. Though newly met, we shared an ancient, unspoken connection. As we neared the shore, ethereal singing echoed from the island. A flock of radiant merfolk surfaced, their silver scales glittering under the sun. The high priestess leaned on a coral staff, offering a gentle, welcoming smile. To show respect, everything on this island, from sustenance to freshwater and lodging, is offered freely. Even things beyond your wildest dreams. Free for those who wandered the sea for centuries. These 2 words hold a lethal, magnetic temptation. That night, the merfolk island became a paradise of wild, ecstatic celebration. Meng Zhang and I were hosted in a coral chamber overlooking the sea. A beautiful mermaid named Azuhu brought us coral tea, her robes loose and her gaze bewitching. She offered her services, but I gestured for her to leave. The tea is enough. The following days felt like immortality, listening to music and admiring flowers. I even tasted the island's legendary mermaid pearls. After consuming the pearl, strands of black returned to my white hair. My blood surged with vigor, straightening my hunched, century-old spine. Eternal youth restored. Truly divine creatures. Meng Zhang offered constant, astonished praise. I lived there so long I forgot the terror of the open sea, until one crisp morning, walking along the shoreline, I saw a silver fish leap from the depths and fall back down. It lay motionless, uncaring of the world. My footsteps faltered. Fish don't leap to view the sky, they jump because the depths have become unbearable. And what of me? I braved the Dead Sea for 200 years. What was my purpose? To squander my remaining years in this tranquil cage? I turned to find Azhu, seeking water to prepare for my journey to the Lingqi continent. Azhu looked confused. Seek the path to immortality? You wish to leave this paradise? She mocked softly. The pearl grants youth. Is that not immortality? You have food and rest here, safe from the sea's slaughter. Is this not true freedom? You search your whole life, yet your destination is already here. Why leave? A sudden realization struck me like lightning. It was perfect. A gilded cage, perfectly arranged. I recalled my arrival at the island's periphery. Why did those high-level cultivators ignore us? This place is not a rest stop. It is a prison for the weak-willed. Consume the mermaid jade. Lose your path. Cold sweat drenched me. I sought Meng Zhang. Meng Zhang was already packing his gear. Something here felt deeply, fundamentally wrong. My inner righteous energy was slowly fading. This island is a soul-devouring trap. I nodded in grim agreement. Midnight arrived. We crept toward the harbor. Darkness blanketed the docks. Guards stood watch. We shared a singular, silent understanding. Move aside. Let us pass freely. The captain crossed his spear. Denied. The high priest orders you stay. Rest now. Leave at first light. We cannot wait. We must go. Stay back. No one leaves here. His eyes flashed with cold arrogance. Worthless mortal. You court certain death. Spears flew. The air ripped open. They had long surpassed the mundane. Even the weakest held spirit-awakening strength. They easily crushed all heavenly experts. Their advantage was a pathetic joke. I am a supreme grandmaster. 6 lifetimes. I stepped forward. My hands swung. True essence erupted. Pure, raw power. 18 weapons manifested as lethal ghosts. Everything beneath them was utterly decimated. One strike,